about to take off.
What is going on? Hello?
What's good? What's good, Melody?
I'm just excited for this show. I'm excited for all of our shows. You know, I love when we collab,
Yeah, I love it too, man. It'd be like one of the best time when I look up on the calendar or my phone and it just say "Couldn't sweetly come on today." I'm like, oh, got a game plan, gotta get ready.
Yes, definitely. But this one is really exciting because this is our first interview together.
Exactly, yo. And plus, this is my first time really interviewing somebody, so this is like way special for me.
Oh yeah, definitely. And that's my thing. Like I am a natural born interviewer.
Oh yeah. Cause like I said, from all the old interviews I done watched you do, yeah, you do your thing with that.
Thank you. Appreciate it. So, I took my time and thought these questions out really, really well that we're about to ask Breann. So, I'm ready.
Right, absolutely. Hey, I'm more than ready for real. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's gonna be a very interesting day. I love to hear what she has to say on these questions. Woo!
Oh yes, it's gonna be a really good one. Because I really want to get to know who Breann is because she is the type of woman that the manosphere uplifts and talk about. She's married, of course, and all that good stuff. But I'm gonna save all that for the interview.
Right. We want to get it all the way right now, But yeah, like I would love to hear her insight on a lot of things as far as her being a wife, a mother, all that good stuff, So, so I want to hear what's on the mind of the stereotypical woman that the manosphere would love to have,
Oh, definitely. Yeah, we're gonna ask her a lot of good questions. But while we're waiting for her, we want to say hi to all the early birds pulling up.
Yeah. Eugene Steele, salute, homeboy.
Salute to you.
Yes. K Capo. Yeah. We here. We in the building, man. Salute to you, my UK brethren.
Salute.
Yeah. Then we got my homegirl Cynical. How you doing? Yeah, man. Thank you for I knew you were gonna pull up Cynical, so I was never worried about you not showing up. So.
Oh yeah, definitely not.
Always day one.
Day one.
Right, day one's off rip. Okay, we got Hash Dragon in the building. What's going on with you, homie?
Hey,
Salute. All right. Oh, we got the homie Zone. Hey, do what he say. Hit that like button on the way in, y'all.
On both channels. Hit that like button.
On both of them.
Channel and on Sweet Melody Speaks channel. Hit that like button. It's very important for algorithm.
Then we got the homeboy Lando. Salute to you. Always showing support to both of us, man. Always show us love.
Salute. Yes.
Oh yeah, hey, Cynical. I'm doing great today. It's a good Friday. The weather's nice. I love it. Hey, ain't nothing wrong with that. Like I'm enjoying this Good Friday.
Yeah, so am I. Friday is actually one of my favorite days. Of course, the
Yeah.
weekend. I'm a weekend girl, so
Uh-huh.
you
Well,
already know.
already know, but hold up, the music has just stopped, so you know what that means.
It's time! For the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world, let's get ready to rumble!
I love hearing that. That's oh, it's
Yeah,
time. It's
yeah,
showtime.
yeah, it's showtime. It's showtime. Yeah, man. Like we all, you can just tell I'm hyped.
Oh yeah.
All right, well, let's get back to the people coming into the building. Come on in, y'all. Come on in. I see Huscular and Muscular. Salute.
Hi,
Another
husband.
supporter. Another supporter that comes through. Yeah. Salute to you too, lad. Though you know I got nothing but love for you, homie, man. All right,
Peace.
let me see. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I got a Nightbot up in here.
Look at the
Hey,
okay.
okay, okay. I did well. Salute to you, Zone. I know you had something to do with that.
Right?
Right. So yeah. So far I'm seeing, yep, the great Michael Buffer. You know, when he comes on, it's showtime over here. You know that.
It's always lit when you hear the great old Michael Buffer. It's always lit.
Absolutely, absolutely. That lets you know it's game time.
So just to let you guys know, she sent me an email and she said she is on her way. Breann, we're speaking of. So
Hmm.
she had to put the baby to sleep and she'll be here in no time. Oh, there she is.
Whoop.
Brienne!
Hello.
Hey.
Oh, you looking gorgeous.
Oh, thank you. Just came from the salon.
Oh,
It's a
your hair
little
looks
Uh,
mommy makeover day. I have
yeah.
inches.
oh,
Oh,
that's
look
what's
at
up.
that. All that hair on your
Yeah,
head.
all that
Yeah.
hair.
That is all my hair. I was surprised.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she is
Ain't no
glowing right now for real.
okay.
She glowing right now for real.
Oh,
Mm-hmm. Looking beautiful.
thank
Yes,
So,
you.
absolutely.
are you ready for these questions that I prepared for you?
I am ready.
She ready. I know she ready to knock it out. So, okay, let me go to
Yeah,
my question. Let me see. I'm excited about this. Well, first of
yeah.
all, before we get into that, how was your day? It sounded like you was getting pampered and everything.
Yes, my husband got takeout. I got my hair done. He is watching the baby, so I'm just going to be relaxing, doing this interview, and then I have a event tomorrow where I sell my handmade products. So I'm all set all around.
Oh, yay. Okay, so you saw product.
Hold on, hold on. She's selling products now. No, no,
Yeah,
hold on.
body butters, body scrubs, and lip balms.
Oh
Okay.
wow, that's what's up. This deserving applause right here.
I am loving it. Black owned business. Oh my God, I definitely got to support. So I'm going to need,
Definitely gotta support, man.
I put it in the back chat in case you guys want to look. But yeah, I have
Oh
all my stuff,
we don't want
almost all
it
my
in the
stuff
yes.
on the
chat.
website.
We want it in the chat. We want it in the chat
Oh,
so
No,
everybody.
I'm gonna put it in the chat right now. Hold on, and I'm gonna leave it up there so that everybody could go and show support.
oh, thank you so
Definitely.
much.
We
I
have
have
to
two more
put it.
pictures to
Absolutely.
put up, but everything will be up by tonight.
Okay.
Okay.
Great. So y'all hear that? I need everybody in this chat to support Brianne with her products. Like I know I am. So I need y'all to do the same. Like for real.
Mm-hmm. Right.
For real.
Always gotta show love to the black business owners, man. For real.
Yeah,
Especially this lovely feminine woman right here, man. You gotta
Oh,
show
of course.
support.
you already know. Yes, and you on cam, got all glammed up. Okay.
And there it go, y'all. Go support.
It's right there on the screen. What is that?
I didn't have time to put on my makeup today, so you guys got lip balm and natural skin. So
Wait,
Hey,
yeah.
it's all good.
hold up. Let's back up. You ain't got no makeup on?
No,
Hold
I just have on lipstick. I didn't do my eyebrows and didn't get to put on any foundation. It's been a busy day.
Do y'all
Woo!
how naturally beautiful she is without makeup, y'all?
Oh, thank
Like
Yeah,
women that wear makeup can't even look this good, okay? So give it up
right.
to Breann. Yes, girl.
Yeah, yes, yes.
Looking gorgeous. Let me take you down. All right.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with that, man. That's what we men love to see is that natural beauty.
Right. So I'm gonna ask you the questions, and Killa Swag is gonna chime in, with you after I ask them. So are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. So first of all, we want to know, where are you from? Like, what's your ethnicity? Because I'm seeing like Islander.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
From what I was told, African American, Egyptian, Native American, and German.
Okay, so you mixed. I definitely see the
A
Egyptian.
mix of things. Both of my parents are primarily black, but they both have other things in them. Actually, it's funny. I have a
Oh,
picture of my parents. Yeah. So
Well,
my
you're
mom has Native American, and my dad is obviously African American, but he has Blackfoot Indian in him. Let me try to.
yeah, definitely. I do see the Egyptian. I see that. So
My
oh
mom
yeah, I
always said she was a
definitely.
queen. So yeah, it's funny. I
mhm.
do have a picture of both my parents.
Oh, your parents, like I
Mhm.
can't really. I see them. Oh wow, that's a really good looking couple. So your
Well, thank
parents are
you.
still. You're welcome. So they're
Yeah,
still
yeah.
together.
Yes, almost 40 years this year, I believe. Because they
Wow.
get the year mixed up too. So of course I would. They're over 35 years. But I think they're reaching their 40-year anniversary in August this year.
Wow, congratulations to your parents, Killer Swag. I think that deserves an applause, don't you?
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
Yeah, so that's one thing that you and I both have in common. Our parents are together and they've been together for over 35 years. So yeah, I'm here with you on that one. It's a beautiful thing, you know.
Yeah, it's a rarity in today's society. So to hear that, man, it just gives me hope that love is really out there.
Did you call me?
Exactly.
Oh, I'll just make sure my husband didn't call me. I have to turn off the air. Okay, there we go.
Okay,
Much
all
better.
right.
Well, he was cold.
I was getting hot actually. I had the heat on.
Oh yeah, the
Uh,
heat. Yeah, it's too warm for the heat, but
yeah, it's too warm for that heat. Yeah. I had to turn mine off because it was nice and toasty out there today.
Yeah, it's
beautiful
beautiful
day,
today.
Hmm.
definitely. So, how old are you?
31.
Okay, 31. So she's still young, 31 years old. Well, and you're young to be married. That's the crazy thing. Like a lot of people don't get married until after 35.
I got
So,
married at 26. And we
Ooh,
got engaged at 20. So we were engaged for like 3 months and then we got
mhm,
married. But I've known him a long time. So yeah, I
right.
would say that was, I guess the good age for me, but I would have loved to have been married younger than, 25.
Okay. So you just answered another one of my interview questions. So that's awesome. So
Mm-hmm.
you were with him for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And then see what I like about you guys is that you waited to have your baby. Even though you guys were together for a long time, you guys planned it and had the baby. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's like taboo in today's society. Don't nobody look to get married that young, but the fact that you did, like, you really did it a traditional way for real. Like, that's what's up.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's amazing. So All right. Why did you start your channel? And what's your mission statement?
Ooh, I originally started the channel just to like document what I was going through. I was a college student back then, and I just like watching other YouTubers like kind of document their journey of natural hair. So I'm pretty sure it was natural hair and vlogging that I started, and then I did some makeup, some hair tutorials, which are probably still one of my top videos. But I think the mission statement is just a vegan vlogger going through life. So follow me on my journey. So I found veganism early on, and then natural hair. So obviously my hair is pressed today, so I have a show tomorrow, but I'm still very big on natural hair in its natural state whenever possible.
I love it. And it's healthy. Not only is it natural, but it's healthy. Look at it move. Like, it's crazy because a lot of women don't, us Black women, a lot of us don't know how to take care of our natural hair.
It's hard sometimes. Keeping it detangled in a good routine, and then finding good products, because products can help you or inhibit you when you're trying to grow your natural hair. But it's a journey, and definitely having, what I've been going through lately, it's definitely a journey, but I'm trying my best. Oh,
Yeah.
thank you, H&M. I see you
Uh,
in the chat. I
yeah, I was
appreciate
about to say you
Gorgeous.
got a fan right there, but yeah, that's you do look gorgeous. I must say so
You ain't
myself,
lying.
and the fact that you said that you were doing your journey as being a vegan is something else too. Like what's it like being a vegan? Because I've heard stories about being a vegan and stuff like that, but I've of course never experienced it. But I've always been very curious about that.
Mhm.
Good question.
Um, So it it's a journey all its own. Especially growing up eating everything to make that switch, it was very difficult. Especially the people around me. My dad was looking at me crazy. My mom was like, "Are you gonna be healthy?" So it a lot of perceptions of it make it hard, but the health benefits and my energy and my skin all drastically improved. And the main reason why I found it is because I had a whole breakout in college. I think I was 21. I broke out head to toe in hives, pretty much. And
Oh wow.
doctor said it's psoriasis. Another one said it was an allergic reaction. Pretty much, it was just everything I was eating I was allergic to that had dairy in it. So I cut out dairy. My skin
Oh.
instantly cleared up. Yeah.
Wow, that's
Oh,
amazing.
okay. Wow.
So I was building up. I don't know what it's called, but pretty much when you eat something you're allergic to for a long time, and then it finally comes out through your skin. So I think that's what was happening. I saw many different doctors, and that's the gist of what I got. I was eating something I was allergic to for so long that it just came out through my skin.
Wow. So you had a lot of acne and psoriasis and things
Ooh,
like
not even just acne, I had boils. So usually I'll get like a boil through stress. Like I have one on my cheek, on one of my cheeks right now, but I'm saying this was head to toe. It was uncomfortable. It was every nook and cranny, so very itchy
Oh wow.
everywhere.
that.
So when I finally got rid of that, it was a huge relief.
Hmm.
Yeah, it sounds it.
That sounds like something that you just had to do though. Like that's crazy.
Mhm.
Wow.
Yeah, but I learned more as I kept going, and I started changing like my hair products and started making my own products. So it kind of catapulted to what I'm doing now, making my own products, because I couldn't use everything. I was allergic to stuff. Everything had dairy in it, or everything had some type of like artificially processed thing that would at least make me itchy. If it didn't break me out, it would make me itch. It could have been in unclothed skin. Yeah, I think that's right. I think I've heard that term before, about the skin infection. So yeah,
Hmm.
when you're allergic to something and you keep putting it in your body and it goes out through your skin. So yeah, I saw at least two dermatologists. I had an esthetician back home that was telling me about it. So yeah, that's what I was learning.
Wow. Well, all right. So here's another question about the vegan thing. So since you're vegan, is your husband and your baby also vegan?
Yes.
Oh, that's amazing. So he did it for you.
No, he did his own research. We saw some documentaries together, and then he changed on his own, even though we were together. Because I was still cooking him whatever he wanted when we were dating back in Ohio. But at some point, he said he read and did his own research, because every time I bring something to him, he does his own research, and he did his own research, and he said, "Okay, let's do this." And we've been doing this ever since. And that was like 5 years ago.
Yeah, wow. Okay, that's amazing. Because usually the husband is the one who don't turn vegan, even though the wife
Mhm.
do. It's crazy, but good for you. And the
Yeah, he did his
Yeah.
own research and he decided he wanted to do that as well. I never forced him. I just kept cooking the way I was before. And he would eat anything I cooked, but I was still making him like egg omelets and, steak when he wanted it. And that was early when we first started dating.
right. So it's probably like a lot more expensive to buy vegan stuff to cook.
No, we actually spend less money on groceries now.
Really?
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's mostly fruits and vegetables, and we can get those on sale. I'm a couponer too. So even back when I was couponing, we noticed we ate a lot more processed food when we ate, regular. Now
Mhm.
I just cook a lot more.
That's good.
I mean, we
That
eat out, trust me, but yes, my husband is black. I
somebody said, "Is he
get
black?"
that question all the time. Yeah.
Man, hold up.
Oh, he vegan. So is he black? Like what?
Yep.
Well, he's an excellent cook. The way to switch the mind frame is we eat the same exact flavors we ate before, just we eat in a different way now.
Right. So you probably eat like lots of like impossible burgers and impossible sausage and things like that, right?
We do eat Impossible because we have that in the fridge now, but the bulk of what we eat is tofu, either marinated, because you can freeze it, unfreeze it, and then you can like fry it up just like you would anything else. Think
Mhm.
about if you're craving like chicken, we have fried mushrooms, fried pickles. Trust me, if you want fried food, you can eat it any way you like. So
Oh,
yeah,
I never thought of it
just a
that way.
different mind frame. Yeah.
Right. Wow. Because I
Yes.
thought, oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Kayla. Then I'll
No,
go.
no, I wasn't about to say that. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I thought about going vegan, but somebody was telling me they tried and it was just so hard, like to find the right foods. And like if they wanted fast food or they wanted to go out to a restaurant, they didn't have many to choose from. Um, they were just saying a bunch of things. And then you start craving like meat fast. And I was just like, oh, damn, I don't think I'm ever going to do
All of that
vegan.
is true. That is all true. But it has to be more than just wanting to do it for health. I also did care about how it affects the planet as a whole. So what I
Mhm.
tell most people is you don't have to go vegan. Just do like a meatless Monday. Add more fruits and vegetables. Learn how to make a vegan meal, and that might end up being one of your favorite meals. Because that's what I noticed too when I first started. I was like, you know what? I just want to stay like flexitarian, somewhere in between. And I started finding all these wonderful vegan recipes, and I was realizing they were cheaper, they were healthier, and I just started finding things that I liked. I mean, when you make a vegan cookie, you don't have to use the eggs now, so it's way less expensive. For
Mm.
most vegan cooking, you'll use a tablespoon of applesauce, or you'll use an extra half a tablespoon of baking powder, and that saves you so much money when you're making baked treats and they taste exactly the same. So if you think of it that way, it'll save you money and it's going to be just as good.
Wow. Okay. Wow. I'm glad we had this conversation because I'm thinking about. What about you, Killer Swag? Are you a meat eater?
Oh, I love me a steak. So I love me some steak. I love some chicken. I love all that stuff. But it's not something that would be, not in my future, so to speak. Like, of course, I would have to do like how her husband would, do more research on it. Like I said, I would be open to trying it. But like I said, I know I like to eat a steak. I love steak. You know what I'm saying? So,
Well, they have
but it's something
impossible.
I would,
You
huh?
can do impossible steak. They have like plant-based steak that tastes just like it. You probably put some steak sauce on it. You're good to go.
I've never heard about that.
They have a steak bite. They don't have like a steak slab yet. And we also eat like the just egg. If we like want an omelet or something like that. But for the most part, fruits and vegetables. And I bake plenty of things. So if we're ever craving something, we can always recreate that same flavor. For me, it's always cheesecake. Like cheesecake, even before being vegan, that was my jam. And I found ways to either buy it or make it vegan. So that definitely helps me out when I want that craving, because right after I gave birth, that was the first thing I ended up getting on our way home was two different cheesecakes. So that was my little treat after. So that was nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, but do you sometimes miss the old lifestyle of you eating, normal stuff, or you're just completely fine with just being vegan for the
I
foreseeable
don't
future?
think
Because I know.
I think people would be lying if they ever said they're completely fine with it. No, I miss going to the barbecue and hanging out with friends and family, and my auntie bringing over that 6 cheese mac and cheese and just digging into it.
Mm.
There's especially if you grew up, eating regular and then switching. Like my daughter's never going to know the difference, but for me, it's always going to be an adjustment in my head. I miss, the camaraderie when it came to food and being together. So I'm gonna have to recreate that myself. But again, if we go back home, I go to a barbecue, they already know, oh, you can't eat anything here, and then there's that. And then we just have to enjoy the time without eating and, being close to people in that way. Food connects people. So I'm trying to find other ways to connect. So I usually bring something to share. And then we come with our own food or we eat prior to going to events. So there's always some type of adjustment.
Yeah,
But the pros outweigh the cons.
definitely.
Definitely.
And when I think about the poor animals, what's going on with them, that's what makes me want to go vegan. Like I just can't, and I stopped eating everything except for fish and chicken and turkey. All the other meats I stopped. But
Yeah,
I want
meat is easy to give up. What's not easy to give up is dairy. Dairy actually has that actual biological connection to your brain, and that's why
mhm.
that's the hardest thing to give up. That's why I was vegetarian for so long, even before becoming vegan. I think I was vegetarian almost 3 years because I couldn't give up dairy. And I could not give up
Okay,
pizza.
I just gotta ask though, like, what's the difference between being a vegetarian and being a vegan?
Good
Oh, a
question.
vegetarian will still eat dairy and eggs, and then when you're vegan, you don't eat anything from animals because vegetarians see like the eggs and dairy is not as bad as actually eating,
Oh,
the meat, and then vegan, straight plants, or some variation of plants, fruits, nuts, seeds.
Mhm.
oh, okay.
Yeah, like you do like almond milk instead
Yeah,
of
but if you're
yeah.
vegetarian, you can still eat and drink regular milk. Yeah, so that's the
Oh,
difference between the
okay.
two.
Okay, I
One is
got
like
you.
some animal products, one is absolutely none. So yeah, that's why I was
Mhm.
vegetarian for so long.
Yeah,
All right, got you.
I'm thinking vegetarian probably would be easier to do. Like if I wanted to stop meat, period. But
Hmm.
yeah, girl. Well, thank you for that. So let me ask you this. How did you come across YouTube or the manosphere, like this sector of YouTube? How did you come across it?
Um, the short answer is Kevin Samuels. So when he first started doing his lives every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, my husband and I were just having so many conversations about what we wanted our family to look like. Because when we first got married, I think I've said this on my live before, so I can say it again. We didn't want to have children together. We were just gonna, live our lives, travel, yada yada. But the more time that passed, the more we realized like the legacy part is going to be missing and that part of like cementing, our marriage. We had a lot of kids around us, not gonna lie. I mean, nieces, nephews, God this, God that, and it just seemed like yes, we're part of this community, but it's not the same way it used to be when I grew up in the 90s. In the 90s, anybody could beat your kid, take you, not beat, whoop
No,
your
I
kid and bring
know.
the kid back to you and be like, here you go,
Man,
your kid
shoot.
was acting up. It got to the point where I had all these, beautiful children around me, but I couldn't do anything motherly. I couldn't tell them they were wrong. I couldn't, even love them the way I could my own children without some type of backlash. Like, no, you're not their mom. You can't discipline them. You can't do this. You can't teach them. I literally couldn't teach somebody, lessons in school because it was too motherly. So I got to the point where I'm like, yeah, it's time to start my own thing. We need to start fresh. So we moved from Ohio all the way to the other side of the country to now being in Oregon. And I was like, yeah, this is where we start our family. Well, he said that, and then I agreed. So yeah, like this is where we're gonna start our family. So yeah,
Oh yeah,
um, it was time.
Oh,
I
so
know.
y'all was from Ohio originally, huh?
Yeah, our
Yeah.
whole our
Wow.
whole family, our whole lives were in Ohio. We had moved to Kentucky, I believe for a few reasons. I had a job there that I was liking, but it ended up not, working out. So I left that job, and again, we started fresh. So found an online job that I was working actually in Ohio, took it, to Oregon, and I worked that for the first few years we were here, and it just worked out way better. Anybody who's ever been in their hometown long enough, something about being in your hometown really wears down on you. all of your
Yeah,
ex-friends, all of your
yeah.
exes, were there, and it was hard to move forward and move on. And it just seemed like everyone around us knew us, but didn't know us at all. So yeah, it was time to go and start fresh.
I
Right.
absolutely could agree with that. Ohio, stand up though.
Hey, oh yeah, another person from Ohio. Stand
No,
up.
Yeah,
I love
man.
my hometown. I do. We want to visit at some point, but it's hard to explain. But your hometown can really wear you down if you let it. So yeah, it was time
Yeah.
to move on and start something new.
Yeah,
Hmm.
she's definitely not lying about that, you know what I'm saying? Because being in Ohio, it do has its moments where it can drag you down. Of course, it has its moments to where it can pick you up, but yeah, I completely agree with Breann on that. But still,
Mhm.
Ohio stand up though.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Everyone we love is there, so I'm never talking bad about it, but I just couldn't see myself growing there and doing the things I'm doing now. So yeah, I had to leave.
Hmm.
Hey, I feel it. One of these days, I might get up out of here, man. Once I take care of everything, get everything situated, I might get up out of Ohio myself, man. Just don't know
It'll
where.
never be a perfect time, I'll tell you that, because I mean,
Oh,
my grandmothers, oh my God, they cried. We almost didn't know what to do. I'm like, oh my God, not my grandma,
Aw.
you know.
yeah,
And both our grandmas are in Ohio, so yeah, it was tough. And a lot of
yeah.
people would love her there. So when we left, everybody's like, "Well, what are you doing?" I'm like, "Well, he got a job there. My job's online. Why not?" Yeah, we came here. We lived in a studio apartment for like the first, let's say, 8 months, and then after that, moved to a one-bedroom, and now we're in a much larger place. So it was a slow,
Upgraded.
gradual grind, but we finally did it.
Yes, you upgraded. I love it. See, I love hearing these stories because it give me hope for our generation. It really does. I love it.
Right, right.
I love it. So you mentioned that you were listening to Kevin Samuels. That's how you came to the space.
Yes.
So what is your opinion on the Manosphere talking points? Like, do you agree with most of the things, or are you like, not everything, but some things I agree with?
I mean, yes, I would say some things. My husband was looking at me like, "Do you?" Yeah, I do. So he actually introduced me to the average at best video. So we first watched the clip together, and then we both kind of looked at each other like, "There's more to this, right?" So when we finally watched from front to back the whole video, my opinion changed because my first thing is like, "Man, he's being so mean." But when I saw that whole video, she called on the wrong night. She had her own opinion. She didn't want to listen. She had the money, but didn't pay for a whole consultation. I'm like, oh, okay, now I get the full, spiel of this. And it really helped to open my eyes that there's always more to the story. And then he's always said it's your side, their side, and then the truth. And then I started following that mindset, that's the case with most things. There's always going to be three
Mhm.
sides to every story. So with that mentality, I kind of went head on. And the thing is, when you watch one or two videos, more of them show up on your feed. So I think that's what was happening. As soon as we started watching his content, more of those videos started showing up on our feed literally by day. So that's how I
Mhm.
really, I think, got into it. How the algorithm works, and then on top of that, being really interested in this mind frame that I hadn't necessarily heard of. Now, I grew up with my dad, I grew up with my brothers, but still, he had on this entire section of understanding that I didn't know until I started watching his content. Talked about,
Mhm.
dating relationships, our relationship with our mothers, the sisterhood, and I was able to just expand my mind to the point to where we actually went from not wanting children at all to actually wanting a family. So I think that was one of the biggest mind shifts he actually helped to bring out of me and my husband.
Wow. So he had a lot of influence on your relationship.
Yeah, I did a whole paper on him in college. Um, the paper was controversial title and then something you learned that changed your understanding. So the controversial title was the other man in my marriage. That was the name of the paper I did. So that was the
Mhm.
controversial title, and then I just detailed how pretty much Kevin Samuels shifted my understanding when it came to men and relationships and family.
Yeah, it does do that to you. I swear. Because when I first came to the Manosphere, I was thinking totally different, and now I'm just red pill. Like everything I see out here in the world is red pill. Oh, why this? Why that? Oh, modern women. It's like I get what you're saying.
hmm
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. That's dope.
Yeah, rest in peace to the Godfather, Kevin Samuels, man. That was the guy right there.
That was that
Hmm.
guy. I know
Yeah.
you was like devastated when he passed. Like
It
all
was
of us.
like losing an uncle. I'm not gonna lie. Both of me and my husband were like, "Oh my God, are you serious?" We watched a little bit of the what was it, the funeral online, but I couldn't even get through it. It was tough. And every single time I speak to someone, they've only ever seen the clips. I'm like, just watch one live front to back, and they hardly ever do that. But I think the reason why he was so important is just he kept opening up my mind to new things. Even though my husband did that and my dad did that growing up, my dad was more like, okay, you're gonna do this because I'm your dad. He opened up the mind to where you speak to someone like an uncle to get them to understand. And he always said you want to have I believe the heart of a teacher. I believe he did have a heart of a teacher. How did he get so many people to understand these very complicated concepts and get us to he hit something in our hearts like, okay, I grew up like this. This is what my mom was telling me, the wrong information. If your dad was there, he just wanted to protect you. He didn't actually teach you what you needed to learn to get through the world. So yeah, I think that was another important thing. He helped all the little, I don't want to say scars, but all the things I didn't understand growing up, he kind of pieced those together for me as well. Growing up in the 90s,
Aw.
how, Big Mama, used to be the one to tell us that. And when we lost our Big Mamas, we lost our mind frame when it came to the realities of the world. Because the world lies to us a lot, especially as women. And I
Yes.
just, oh, hi. Hello, Smitty.
Hey, Smitty. Salute to you. Thanks for coming.
Salute to you. Yeah, I seen him in that community tab that you shared too, and I was like, "Who is he talking to?" And I was like, "Oh, he talking to Breann. Okay, cool."
Mhm. Yeah, I know Smitty very well.
Yeah, salute to you, Smitty.
Yeah. So no, it's just like you're right. Kevin Samuels was that uncle that we needed to tell us the truth.
Hmm.
That's exactly who he was. I agree 100%. And you
Yeah,
said you
he
saw. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say like he was definitely needed in spaces like this because that man truly was the epitome of trying to keep black families together. Like that's the thing that a lot of people fail to realize. They always so fixated on how he talking to the women and this, that, and third. If anything, he didn't want to see them suffer like that, but at the same time, he got to give it to them the real. He got to give it to them the harsh truth. You can't
Hmm.
just sugarcoat it and just make it be like, oh well, you're gonna get your way. Just be patient. No, you gotta get hit with the hard hitting facts. And that's what
Right.
Kevin Samuels was about. And like I said, and he was all for black family. And that's what kind of drew me to Kevin Samuels. Because when I first seen him, I'm like, oh man, because of course I got drawn into about an average at best video of myself. I was like, oh wow, he really going in on this chick. But then, like Breann said, I watched the whole video and I'm like, well, she had it coming for real. But at the same time, everything he said wasn't wrong. Like did, and I don't even understand like people got so upset because he really didn't yell at her. He really wasn't disrespectful until she just started being so oblivious to what he was saying. It's like, of course, anyone would get irritated if you constantly are just overlooking everything he's telling you, because every single step that he's telling you is stuff that you really can implement to help you secure the man that you want, but you just don't want to listen. You're so busy like I'm a owner. I own a pet grooming business and blah 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 blah. It's like you still don't get it. So yeah, that's all
Yeah,
I gotta
like
say on it.
and like Breann said, that clip would have you thinking he was the worst man in the world. Like that
Hmm.
average at best. And that's what they like to do. They take one clip and start attacking you off of that one clip. But when you really watch that whole show, you're like, wow, I get it now. And
Hmm.
that's what all his content. He was never really disrespectful to women. He just want to see black women do better. He don't want to see these overweight black women thinking they're all that, and he didn't want to see that. So I loved him for that.
Hmm.
Definitely.
Much
And he did
respect to
change
him.
it. Right. And he did change a lot of black women because I even heard some overweight black women was in the gym now because of Kevin Samuels.
Oh
So
my goodness, that too. Yes.
um,
I every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I would get on the treadmill as his show was going on. So
right.
yeah, I lost how much did I lose? Like 10 pounds, something like that. Well, 10 pounds in the first month, yeah. I lost like 10 pounds in the first month of doing it I was like, I'm only gonna step on the treadmill if his show is on. When his show wasn't on, like he would switch it to the next
Right.
day. My workout would be the next day. So it was crazy. Yeah. I lost like 10 pounds that first month, is what my husband just said. I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's crazy.
Wow.
Hmm.
That's amazing. It really
Right.
is.
Women like to
It,
talk sign language. Oh, I think they were referring to that clip. Yeah, it was like, well, you don't know me, you don't know this, and I mean, he got all the information he needed in that particular clip. I don't know
yeah.
what green pill is though. Mm.
Right? I don't either. Green pill?
I just remember old boy, what's his name? The Art of Will. He always talked about green pill. That's all I know.
Yeah, I've never heard of that term, so I'm not sure what that is. But no, I am not Muslim. I did see that question in the chat. I
Oh,
just
oh yeah.
follow my husband. You can call that whatever you like.
Right. So you don't go to church or anything like that every Sunday.
Sundays are for sleep.
Oh, right.
Hey,
Right.
it is a day of rest.
Correct. It is a day of rest.
All right. Well, all right. So now, since we're on a red pill manosphere conversation, how do you feel about the gender war in our community, or do you think there's a gender war? Like, what do you think?
Mm, And if there was one, I believe the women have already lost. The numbers reflect that we're, as Black women, we're the lowest in just about everything. And every single time I see the numbers or I see it reflected, I think about my own family. I think about the women I grew up with. Do they reflect those numbers and those statistics? And for the most part, yes, they do. Um, so I do want to see more of us win, but we can only win as families. So I guess that's the shortest way I can say that. Oh, hey, Bronze Bird, I see you in the chat. Yes, my hair is straightened, but this is all my real hair. I'm shocked. I'm shocked. There's this much underneath all those afros. Um,
Yeah, a lot of hair going on over there.
no, it's crazy. I keep doing this. It just feels so good. I haven't done this in years. So yeah.
Right. So
Oh
pretty.
yeah, yeah, man. It's luscious. It's
Girl.
gorgeous. You better stop it
Mhm.
before all the other women get mad at you.
Right. So, do you think this war will ever be over? Do you think Black men and Black women will finally get together and work it out, or do you think it's like that's done?
That's a pretty loaded question. I, I think we're gonna have to focus on the next generation, like literally, like my kid. Like we got to focus on that generation, getting
Mhm.
with someone. And again, I think one of the other issues is the dating scene. I don't even know if I want to call it dating at this point. It's getting with somebody and bumping uglies. I think we need to get to the point to where we look
I
at
like
our children.
Bumping uglies.
I think you get to points where we look at our children and we're like, okay, I want you to have better than I did, and I want you to reach the best point in your life, which means getting with someone. We need to create communities where we can see other children interacting with them growing up, so that when they reach that pivotal age of 18, they're like, okay, look, you grew up with little Billy down the street. You know, he has this going on. He's working this trade job. Maybe you guys should go on a proper date where we all get together in a barbecue and we just talk, each family talk to each other. This idea that our kid turns 18 and they just go out in the world and figure it out, I think is very unfair. And it's
hard.
honestly very dangerous. There's a lot of people who are having children that, well, a lot of people giving people children that they don't know of. So now we are running into the issue where um, you might have a sibling out there you don't know or a cousin you don't know. So I think it
Mhm.
needs to get to the point where we actually create families in the way of the community the way it used to be and should be. So that's my goal. We have a lot of wonderful communities around us, especially the one that gave me the doula I had for my daughter. So a lot of beautiful Black families that I want to get to know better, that have, kids and, young boys that are like 2, 3, 3, 4, so that when she's older, that should be the person she should be looking for, someone in the community, someone I know, somebody that knows other people that I also know.
Mhm.
So we can start getting out of the mindset that you get to go, date somebody, in another country just because you have the access to the internet. So yeah, need to start working towards that, being more
Right.
realistic in dating and getting families together.
Exactly. I like that. What's your take on that, Killa? What she just said?
Hey, my take on that is she's actually going about it with the perfect approach because because she actually sounds like an old school parent in these day and age, especially nowadays. It's just like, a lot of these parents just let their kids run amok, talk to all these people on the internet or just talk to random folks all the time. Like she's doing it the right way, man. And like I said, salute to her, salute to the baby. Uncle Swag is here. So,
Aw. Uncle Swag. We love it.
Yeah,
We love
yeah.
it.
You know, I still got love for the baby because she stood up when Clue tried to get at me. So, like I said, salute to that baby.
Oh yeah, she was
She
going.
was
She was going
playing.
off on
Oh,
Clue.
no, yeah.
Yeah,
She was
I
She was
enjoyed
playing.
every minute of
Wayne, that's this boy. That's cute. Mm-hmm.
yeah.
so okay. So, what is your view on modern women, the modern woman versus traditional woman? Like,
I think in general, a lot of us are missing our fathers, not to the fault of our own. Again, I grew up with my father. My father was in the home, but he worked like 80 hours a week. So a lot of things I was hoping, I would learn from him. I didn't learn until much later, like literally right before getting married. He just started spewing all of this beautiful information to me. And I was like, where was this at 10 years ago? But still grateful to have it, grateful to still have my father here. But I think a lot of women, for one, are missing their fathers. They're missing guidance. And Big Mama was important too, because even if you didn't have a father in the home, you had someone else that was going to, no bars held, tell you the truth about yourself. At one point, I don't think it was my Big Mama, but someone else's Big Mama was saying, hey, look, you're cute, but not that cute to be acting like that. Where is that at, nowadays? Now you can look anyway and still be called cute and get attention. It didn't used to be like that. And again, I don't think outward beauty is the only thing, but it is very, very important for your own confidence as well as getting with somebody. So, yeah, we're missing a lot of things. We're missing our fathers. We're missing our big mamas. We're missing the truth that we used to tell people that we can't anymore. So even though it's hard, I try to be that person to tell someone the truth, but with a little sugar, but not much. So
right. So you consider yourself a traditional woman, not a modern woman. You're
mm,
traditional.
if I'm being honest, I have had modern ways, and I still do, right?
Yeah.
I
He's
don't see
looking.
it.
Well, he doesn't see it luckily, but I grew up with modern women, so I wasn't raised traditionally, but I did see a traditional family, so I think I had that. I had that over pretty much anyone else that my husband was, could have dated, but the fact that I was still very shy and reserved, even though I'd been exposed to this modern world, I think was a good thing. And again, just being shy and reserved in general is a good thing for women. Most women are taught to be extroverts, and that's not our nature for the most part. Yeah, you can talk to people and have a good conversation. That doesn't mean you have to be out at a party every weekend. No, I want to be home, So,
Right.
things like that.
Right.
Mhm.
Swag, you got anything?
Man, shoot. She just said everything that most men would dream about hearing all the time and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, she grew up in somewhat of a modern day society, so yeah, she is considered a modern woman. She's just taking on traditional values, which is what a lot of women should do. But of course, they won't because it's always gonna be who gonna check me, boo? It's always gonna be something about that.
Exactly.
So
Right. Her husband is one lucky guy, and she's lucky
yeah,
to have him as well. I love
Well,
it.
maybe
exactly.
it's just laughing at me for some reason. It's hilarious.
He's
You hear?
laughing at you. Why is he laughing at you? Why are you laughing at her?
It's so funny.
Oh, it's the baby going off.
Yes, the baby just. I'm sitting here talking, and she's just laughing at me. It's so adorable.
Oh, love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's hilarious.
Yeah, but I think I did pick up a lot of traditional mindsets from the people I was following on YouTube. I follow a lot of women online that are very traditional. So the more I watch that, the more I think I tap more into my feminine nature. So I think that's very helpful. Obviously, there's a lot of YouTubers I could mention, but for the most part, they are Caucasian women. I think I follow one Muslim woman that talks a lot about family and togetherness and how to treat your husband. So I think that really helps too.
Who can
Another taught her to, yeah. I learned a lot from actually my grandfather, my dad's dad, and then my mom's mom.
Right. Okay. Sounds
Yeah.
good.
That baby said, "You better give me attention."
Right. She want all the attention over there.
Oh my gosh,
Right.
that's
Oh,
hilarious.
we got our
Well,
first super chat of the night.
Yay!
thank you so much for the $2 super chat. He says, "Hey Melody, my lovely. Salute Swag and Breann."
Salute to you, Dame.
Ew, and thanks again. Okay, so what advice would you give to young women who want to get married and be a stay-at-home mom like yourself?
Oh my goodness. How much time do we got?
Okay, no, take your time. Take your time.
Take your time. We here.
Yeah.
Find somebody as early as you possibly can and work with them. Make it work, build with them. So many women want to wait as long as possible to try to get the best that they can. But the problem is the best thing is probably right down the street. Again, my husband, he didn't live down the street, but his grandparents actually lived 8 houses down from me growing up. So the one time he came to visit his parents and I just so happened to be outside, that's how we met. I was 14, he was like 15, 16 at the time. It was just by chance. And the fact that his grandmother was so close, like she was kind of like the big mama of the neighborhood. There were times that we went over there, we'd have root beer float, some fried chicken, they'd have a barbecue, and we'd be over there, eating. So the crazy thing is, if we were kids and they realized how much we liked each other, we should have gotten together at 18. We shouldn't have had to, spend those 3-4 years trying to figure out should we date? Are we going to just be friends? But I'm glad it worked out. But it definitely could have worked out earlier. We could have had 4 babies by now. And that's the joke I keep telling people. We could have had 4 by now,
Right. Exactly.
Your parents are supposed to guide you and watch you. And I never even said I had a crush on him, but my mom made a little comment okay, I need to make sure not to leave y'all alone at any point, because he would come in the house to play video games with my twin brother. They were good friends for 2 years before I met him, because I was not allowed outside. So the one time I was allowed outside and my twin brother was there and they were walking down the street, I knew in that moment,
Yeah. Right.
Did she say root beer? Yeah, I did. Root beer floats. So his grandmother was always cooking, always outside watching us play. So yeah, she would have that food ready. We would be hungry after running around in the neighborhood. This was the early 2000s. So yeah, we were outside, doing kid things, legal kid things, of course. Riding bikes.
Yeah.
Of course.
My advice is to find someone early, and little Bobby down the street could be the love of your life. My husband has to get me back on track. But that was the advice. That's actually the advice. A lot of women I've spoken to want somebody, already established, on the other side of the country, in another country, not realizing that guy you grew up with or that guy you went to school with shouldn't be the person you end up with. And you got to be more realistic. That guy you're talking to on Instagram, he's probably has 20, 30 other girls. So why don't you choose someone that, knows you and that you can trust and that you even know their family? For the most part, if you do not know their family, that shouldn't even be a person you consider. So I think that's the other part of the advice. And the only people you're going to know is that guy from church, that guy from school, your mom's friends, son, most women think of those guys, oh, he's like a brother to me. No, he's not. That's not your brother. That is your future husband. Get it together. And I've been saying this for a long time. My husband's laughing at me because I said this to a few different girls. No, that guy from church you keep calling your brother, you need to stop it. You need to see if he's still single, and if he's available. So, yeah.
That's great advice. I never even thought
really
of that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, if you don't know their family, that's probably not the person you should be with. Yeah. That's one of the biggest pieces of advice. Now, even if that's not an option, still choose someone around you. Pretty much if a guy is approaching you, for a date and wants to get to know you, that's probably someone you should also consider. Because a lot of times women will accept the date, but still think, okay, I'm going to just do the dinner and just see how it goes. No, you're supposed to seriously be considering any person who wants to take you seriously and take you out to dinner for a potential husband. And on top of that, therapy. You need to have therapy first. And sometimes you need therapy within your marriage, which I've also done. Not because anything was necessarily wrong, but because there's a lot of things you do not know until you're actually in it. So, yeah. Oh, Angela C, hello. We know Angela.
Angie.
Yeah.
Important. Shorties be overlooking the men they let into their life. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I agree.
Me too. Now, and that's why you have a lot of people who don't get along with their mother-in-laws or their father-in-laws because they don't know them.
Yes, I love when I tell you those are my other sets of parents. Absolutely wonderful. My husband's mom, because I call her mom too. Husband's mom, has a boyfriend. They're like my other set of parents, and then his other side, they're also partnered up. So I have 3 sets of parents, not including our grandparents. So yeah, I'm very grateful. I definitely chose right.
Yeah,
Arranged marriage, yes, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Again, it doesn't have to be you're gonna date this person. It's supposed to be, no, this is a good contender. This is the person we know, we trust, we know their family. that's who you're supposed to end up with. So it says theory, arranged marriage. Parents pair their progeny, I can't see that, with approved childhood friends to grow into marriage when adulthood is reached. Houses on good term merging, community building might work. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We need to bring back some form of arranged marriage, and that means as a mom, I'm supposed to be seeing, okay, who has a young man between 2 and 4 years old, because I want him to be a little bit older, I want him to be slightly established in his career before they get married. But she shouldn't have to be 25 trying to figure out the dating market. It shouldn't be like that. That's difficult and it's heartbreaking. Why would you want to see your child go through multiple relationships, multiple heartbreaks, possibly adding a kid in there before they even reach marriage? I think it's unfair and it's hurtful.
It really is.
But yeah, that's what I'm saying. Not to do it that way. Like, obviously, if she's dating, she wants to pursue someone. I'm trying to cut out the dating phase of it, if that makes sense. We know their family. We know this. Just have a dinner together and see if it can work. If not, you move on. You don't get, super involved with them. You don't move in with them for 2-3 years. You don't have a baby by somebody you're not married to, and then realize, oh, this isn't working. No, we cut that out completely. So courting is what I'm saying. I think my children, man and woman, should only court until they find a person they actually want to build with.
Right, exactly.
If only a lot more people could feel that way these days, man.
That's true. And you have a lot of people who are dinner whores who just like to go on different dates and use the men for food. It's sad.
Oh yeah, we call that booty calls. And I've told this story before about my husband. Our first official date, he didn't have any money, so he was like, "Look, I can't take you out this week. We're gonna have to figure it out." And I was like, "No, I want to spend time with you. I want to see you." So he picked me up. We went to Del Taco. And we just sat in there for hours. I bought my own food. I offered to buy him food. He said, "No, I'm fine."
Aww.
I sat there with an entire tray of food, eating by myself as we're just talking and laughing. And I was like, "What's that sound?" It sounded like a stomach growling. And he was like, "I don't know. It was probably somebody over there." And I said, "Okay." Years later, he told me he had not eaten that entire day, but he refused to take food from me. We still laugh about that to this day. I was like, I knew I heard a stomach growl, but he did not tell me. And I was offering him food. "Here, take this. I'm going to buy you something." He's like, "No, I'm good. I promise." His pride wouldn't let him. And to this day, it's funny, but I've been feeding him ever since. So that's the other part of the joke. He's very well fed now, but
right.
Oh yeah.
But that's the thing. Also with me, imagine a woman finding out that the guy she wanted to go out with had no money. She would say, "No, wait till you get some money." No, I wanted to see him. I didn't care if he had a penny in his pocket. We were going to see each other, and that's exactly what happened. So I think that put me apart too. I can't lie, I love how Breann story was. Yeah, that's exactly how it happened. And I think the next week he brought me groceries, and then we cooked together. And again, this is somebody I'd known since I was 14. So I think the transition was much easier, but still, when you're building a life with somebody, you're going to find out things. Now, I thought I knew him front to back. Now I know him to the moon and back because, you learn someone when you build that commitment. So, yeah, I thought I knew a lot, but I knew nothing.
I literally can't get this smile off my face. That is the most adorable story I've ever heard in my life. That's crazy.
Oh, goodness. Yeah.
Wow. I really love your relationship.
I was just sitting there hungry, not saying nothing. But yeah, I love it too. But goodness gracious, it was some work.
That's definitely a dope story though, for real. Like, and honestly, I don't know, maybe it's just us men, but if I was on a date like that, I probably would have did the exact same thing. Because
other guys have said that. I've said this story before. Yeah, other guys have said the same thing. I'm not gonna
because when I'm with a woman, or if I want to take a woman on a date, I want to make sure I'm able to provide for myself and for her. You know what I'm saying? And if she does it, I'm like, okay, cool. But it's just something in me. It's just like I can't do that. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to mooch out for her. Like, I want her to feel comfortable on a date because I don't want her to feel like she's taking care of me. So yeah, I completely understand that, but yeah.
That's how you know he really, really, really liked you, because any other man would have took that food from you.
Yeah,
but he's
definitely.
like, no. He's like, no, I'm not gonna do that. And plus, he's a real man. Like these new guys these days, these modern guys, they make women pay for dinner and everything. Have you heard of that? Like these.
I have not, but I believe you. I heard on your show the other day, a guy said women should take them out. Now, I think when dating, if you want to date, because again, I don't exactly agree with dating, I think both people should pay their own way until they determine they want to be in a relationship. I think this dating and paying until you find out if she even likes you is a problem.
I'm more of the traditional dater, probably where, whoever asks, like if the man say, hey, I want to take you out, usually he'll pay. Or if I say, hey, you want to go out, then I would pay, but that's how I look at it. But I like your point of view though. Like, why spend money when you don't even know if that's the person for you?
Right. And if you already knew their family, just get together, make some food at home, and have those intimate conversations. You don't have to go to the movies. You don't have to go to a restaurant until you're together, because I think that's when you actually have fun. Like the times we would actually plan a date, like our last date before I gave birth, we went to this new vegan restaurant and loved the food, and we got to sit in there and enjoy our time together and talk and hold hands. That's the type of thing you can't do until you're truly intimate with someone. So I think those more expensive dates should definitely wait. But yeah, if you're trying to prove to someone you have a certain financial standing, I think that's a different conversation.
Right.
Civil combo one day arguing with each other, another, how lovely.
That's just cynical being cynical.
And you know what, Breann, usually when a man pay a lot of money, he's going to expect something at the end of the night.
Oh.
So that's another thing women have to consider your face. Like, yeah.
Well, it's a good thing if you're already married because you're both expecting it. So
right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yes, hit the like button.
Yes, please. Oh, okay. So how would you describe motherhood?
Ooh. Huh. That is actually a really good question. How would I describe it? A person with ADHD, but talking out loud. A lot of stuff going on at once.
You have ADHD?
Yeah. Oh, I was actually using it as an example, but yes, I also do have ADHD.
Wow, look at that.
I think it's different than what people describe to me, because I've only ever heard bad things. But I think the fact that I am at home and I get to see every little milestone, I think I see it a little differently. It is a lot. I'm not going to lie. It's a lot to do every day, all the time. And I, breastfeed. So I would say like 90% of my day is making sure she's fed, changed, and clean and happy. But those moments where I get to just see her and see her thighs getting chunkier and her laughing and giggling now, which is new, it's all worth it. Now, there are other people who are even described the way labor and childbirth would be, and that wasn't the case for me. I would do that a million times. It was literally one of the best days ever. She came flying out. I was comfortable. My husband was there. My doula was there. My twin brother was in the room on the other side too, silently supporting, which was great. So I had all this love and support around me. Again, she just flew out, and after that, I was just pampered for the most part. So I felt great. But yeah, a lot of lost sleep at first, but now she's sleeping through the night, eating very well. So it's wonderful. I don't know what other way to describe it. It's wonderful. It's a lot of work, hard work at first. The hardest job I've ever done in my life. Now I've done a lot of jobs. I've been a waitress at Waffle House. Okay. This is harder. But it's worth it. It's worth it. Yeah.
It's definitely worth it. Now, can you imagine how hard it is for single moms out there?
I would have lost my mind a long time ago. You better not even have me imagining that.
That's crazy.
Especially the newborn phase. Yeah, easily would have lost your mind. I think that's why Keke Palmer had that video about your superheroes. Because I'm like, if you don't choose to do it by yourself, if you happen to do it by yourself, that's one thing, right? If you lose your partner or something traumatic, but to choose to go through, I call it HE double hockey sticks week, like for football. That's what I think my cousins used to call it. They called it HE double hockey sticks week, because you're literally training, your body's sore, you're going through it, you have to keep going to practice. That's what it's like. And it's tough. And to choose to do that, no wonder people are bitter and angry out here. It's hard. And you shouldn't have to do that by yourself if you can make the choice. But yeah, some women are choosing to do that by themselves and wondering why they're angry. You're not meant to do that. It makes you very masculine. You're supposed to have masculine people around you helping you and guiding you during that process. And it's I want to say it's nearly impossible, and it's not meant to be that way.
Right, and that's another thing. Let me go straight to that question since we're on the topic. So,
Hmm.
do you think that a lot of these women choose to be single mothers just to receive child support?
No,
Mm.
not just to receive it. There are a lot of other benefits. Um, so even before having my baby, my doula told me about all these programs to, get free diapers and wipes and all these things. And it was a full stop as soon as I found out I was married. And I was like, okay, I guess if I get free diapers and wipes and clothes and stuff, I'll go through these programs. Over half of the programs, let's say 60 or 70% said no when they found out I was married, and then the other like 20% said no when they found out, how much my husband makes, even though I was not working and bringing in income then. So yeah, it was wild. There are benefits well past just child support, but I do believe that's the number one thing, because I've been on podcasts listening where women said, okay, if I wasn't going to get child support, I would think twice, three times, four times before I even have a child by somebody I'm not married to. So yeah, it's a huge
Mhm.
benefit. But the other one is you get free resources. There are programs to get reduced internet, reduced phone bills, reduced electric, housing, of course, free
Mhm.
food, even there are hairstylist programs where you can get your hair done for a reduced rate if you are a single mother and you're on some type of government assistance. Um,
Crazy.
yeah, and then again, there's so many community events here in Oregon specifically for single mothers, and those are a lot of the programs I couldn't get approved for. Because again, I wasn't trying to use the system. It's just, okay, if somebody already has free clothes and stuff, I like the reduce, reuse, recycle. So I was like, okay, I'll just get some, used clothes, right? No, a lot of those programs said no to me because I was married. Um, so
Right.
yeah, definitely something to think about. But I was able to find, like I said, my free doula program. Here in Oregon, they've had a history of being racist. So there's a government grant that helps, mothers like me, married and not married, to get free clothes, diapers, wipes, baby formula if you need it, and a free doula to be there at your birth and 20 hours after you have your child. So that was the program I was able to get, luckily.
Mhm. Right. Luckily.
Yeah, and that was a doula that actually coached me through the birth. So it's like a cheerleading coach when you're going through birth, before, during, and after labor. And it was wonderful. And I think that's another reason why it was such a great experience. Again, my mom, aunties, everybody who told me about childbirth, they said it's the worst thing ever. And I'm like, that wasn't my case. Luckily, it was one of the best days.
They do it for attention too.
Oh, and
Yeah,
attention.
because I've been hearing that all my life. I
Yep.
didn't hear the last thing.
No, I was going to say, I heard that my whole life. It's the worst day ever, but it's worth it. No, I was comfortable. She came out, she was in the perfect position just to literally, she flew out. She was ready for the world. And I was
Mm-hmm.
so calm in the moment before she came to me. I was like, I'm meant for this. I'm meant to do this. And then boom, there she was. Um, the more I think about it, the more I'm like, our bodies are literally meant to do that. What was I so scared of beforehand? Well, because it was new and I've never been through it, and I've never heard anyone ever say anything positive about labor and childbirth. That was my first time hearing it when I started hearing, Caucasian women talk about it on YouTube. They called it positive birth stories. So I started
Mm-hmm.
watching those. I read all the books. I listened to all the podcasts, and I realized I am meant to do this, and I can do this, and I did. And it was great.
Right. We are meant to do that. We're women, we're supposed to do it. But
Hmm.
you're right, because I've heard even like my mom when I was a kid used to say, you know what I've been through? It hurts so bad. And she used to say stuff like that to me.
Yep.
But
Hmm.
I'm glad
Exactly.
to hear you say that though, because a lot of people still to this day are telling me how bad it was, and oh, it was so many cramps, and they didn't take the epidural because they heard it can paralyze them, and I heard so much.
I did too, but that does not have to be the case. There are so many women, because you think about it, if you go to a restaurant and you have a bad experience, you're going to leave a review. If a good experience, you're not going to leave a review. And I think that's what's been happening a lot of times when it comes to motherhood. All the women who have the worst experience, you want to tell everybody about it. You want that camaraderie. You want that attention. My husband mentioned that a few times, and he's right. You want the attention from other people. When I say I had a great experience, it's a full stop. No one else ever asked me other questions. And I'm like, please ask me about my birth. I want to talk about it. But, no one wants to hear a good side of birth. So, yeah, I started telling another mom, like, it was the best day ever. And she's like, oh, that's good. Okay, so how's the baby? You know what I mean? Most women, if it's traumatic, they want to hear more about why. Why don't you want to hear the good side of the story? And I realized that's just how it is.
Yeah, that's just it.
Oh, you dropped the binky.
Oh.
Here you go.
Well, there was something else I wanted to ask you. Oh, do you guys want more kids?
Yes.
Both of you? Yes.
Yes, please.
No hesitation.
At least one more. I would love 2 more, but we'll see what happens.
One more.
Is that one more? So,
I'm a twin, so whatever
yeah.
happens,
He wants twins. But it sounds to me like he wants a little boy.
Oh, yeah. How you know?
He wants his son.
Yeah, we had a girl, but definitely have a boy. Again, we have a lot of beautiful families around us and other children. Like my twin brother just had a child as well a few months ago. So, yeah.
Congratulations, Tim.
Yeah. I'm an auntie to a biological girl now because I have like nieces from him. That was my first biological niece. So it's quite cool.
Yeah, gotta be exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta be.
They're gonna be buddies. So I'm excited for that too.
Same around
500 kids. Look, is those so fun?
Y'all want 500 kids?
Sure. We're close. Like I said, we add up all the kids in the community. We're at like 20 now, right?
Oh my
God.
No,
nieces and nephews and sons, goddaughter. You know what I mean? Close enough. We got a lot of kids around us, so we're really hopeful.
Yeah.
To have more of our own biologicals, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. The more, the better. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
So
gotta raise the new generation, yo.
Right. Somebody has to.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
So, what does it mean to be a stay-at-home mom? Like, what are your responsibilities?
Ooh, it means freedom. A lot of women don't see it like that. I've worked so many jobs where I had just crappy bosses, and back when I was about 21, 22, I was working 4 jobs at once. I would have loved to just be able to sit at home and focus on the home. But my responsibilities are typically whatever is needed for that week, especially right after having a child. I just needed to rest. So I did rely on my husband and doula for everything. But now that I'm actually feeling, more like myself, I'm taking more of the duties on. But I'm adding a lot more duties because, decided to breastfeed. And again, I have to make sure I'm eating enough and doing enough to make sure enough milk is coming out. So, sometimes I got to sit for an hour or 2 just to get enough milk to feed her. So that's definitely added to it. And then a small business owner. So having a show tomorrow, I have a few more last minute things to do. But other than that, take care of the household, take care of my husband, and just whatever, our kid needs to make sure she has that.
Yeah, definitely. All right. So you being vegan, does that kind of mess up the breastfeeding? Like, do you need more, what do you call that, protein?
We get that question a lot. Protein isn't just about everything. So the thing is, I need to eat a decent volume of food just to make sure I have enough milk. I wouldn't say it messes up anything. Water intake is the most important though. So making sure I'm drinking enough water like all the time because I'm constantly thirsty because literally I can feel the water going through my system and straight to the chest. So yeah, enough water and then enough fruits and vegetables, definitely.
Yeah, that's good. So the baby is vegan too. That's awesome.
Because she's drinking my milk that is filtered. So technically, still vegan.
Right.
But we don't do the dairy because I'm afraid she might have the same allergic reaction I did. So we wouldn't do dairy even if we weren't vegan, just to make sure she doesn't break out.
Right. Got to be careful with that.
Mm-hmm.
Swag, you have anything on that?
I ain't got too much to say about the breastfeeding and being vegan and stuff like that. That's not my wheelhouse. So. But yeah, like that's some great information that you just gave out. And anybody that wants to do research on it, where can they find that at?
Ooh, I think one of the main things you can do is go on Netflix. Game Changers. It's funny, someone in the comments, that's their name, but it's the Game Changers. So that talks about vegan athletes, and then it kind of details the the importance and how to get, I guess, a healthy mind frame when it comes to veganism. So yeah, game changers, and what the health. I think that's very important. And Cowspiracy. So those are the three that come to mind. I believe they're all on Netflix. Amazing documentaries. Even if you guys remember Super Size Me, how that guy was
Yeah, I
eating,
remember that. Yeah.
so that guy, I can't remember his name right now for some reason, but yeah, those type of documentaries and videos just really open your eyes, and they're so entertaining on top of that. So you can sit and watch that while you're, eating your meal and be like, goodness, I didn't know this about the world. I didn't know this about health. Yeah, because at 21, I actually sat in my doctor's office and he told me, like, if you do not get this together, I'm going to start giving you diabetes medication within the next 6 months. So that changed it for me too. And then again, the breakout. So I was breaking out head to toe. I'm in the doctor's office. He's saying you're overweight, you're unhealthy, you're going to be on this diabetes, this medication very shortly if you don't get it together. And that was a male doctor. So I've had female doctors since, and I need to go back to a male doctor because they lay it out to you honestly and openly. And I think he saved my life, honestly. That doctor I had back in Ohio who told me, like, yeah, you need to get this together because I'm going to put you on some medication you're not going to want to be on. So yeah, I changed it since then.
Okay. So interesting.
A lot of great insight. Yeah. Hey man, I got my answers that I was looking for. You know what I'm saying? Got to check out the Game Changers. And what was that other one you said? What the health?
And then
Yeah, okay.
Cowspiracy. That's the one that really got us, and it's a little older, but it is amazing. It's called Cowspiracy.
Oh, okay. That's what's up. Like on one of the days I have free time, I might check those out, but I'm usually a busy dude. I'm always on the go, so I don't really have time to sit still. But when I do have the time, I will check those out.
You can even watch the clips on YouTube. They have clips of all of those, like even, a minute, 2-minute clips, Cowspiracy, What the Health, and what was the other one I just mentioned? They all have the clips on there, and I constantly see them because that's some of the stuff I look up. So you can definitely find them if you're looking.
Okay, bet.
Okay. So my next question to you is, what is your view on a woman being submissive, and how does that work in sustaining your marriage?
Do it. It's important. I just think that submission is so important because someone has to be the leader. If you guys are operating in this, let's do 50-50, it never works because someone is always going to have to take the reins when it comes to making a full decision on something. And I prefer that to be my husband. I've said on other panels, he's had a much harder life than me. I was the sheltered girl with 2 brothers that couldn't leave the house without my brothers or my dad. He is the one that got to live life early on and make lots of mistakes. So I think it's important for the person with the most experience in something to take the reins. Now, when it comes to business, I'm the one that has the experience. So I'm the one that takes the reins with that. But household-wise, he's the one that has to worry about, protecting us, providing, and I'm the one that does everything in the house. So I think it is important to realize that submission is protection. Submission is comfort. Like I said, it's freedom when you're able to not have to worry about that. I think that's another reason why a lot of single women take on this very hard frame, because you have to do all the things that are meant for a man to do when you reach a certain age. Because first it's supposed to be your dad and brothers, your uncles, and then it's supposed to be your husband. This gap in between was never meant to happen for these women to have to do when it came to providing and protecting just themselves. Now, of course, if you're an adult, you have to, work a job and do things until you pair up. But the gap was supposed to be much smaller. You're not supposed to be doing that 10, 15 years and then trying to go back into the submissive role. No, you're supposed to take that 1 or 2 years, establish yourself, figure out your goals, and then be with someone. So that's what I think personally.
Yeah, because I hear this a lot from the sisterhood. He got to earn submission. He don't just get it from me. Do you hear that often?
I do. Earning it is one thing. The practice is another. So if you didn't grow up with your father, you didn't grow up with men, you think submission is just doing whatever he says because he has money. No, it's respecting him enough to know that he has a life experience to make those decisions for your family. So I think that's the difference. And then even in that case, you're out of practice. Even if you did grow up with your father, you're out of practice. You don't even know what it actually looks like. But to me, it's freedom, knowing that he's going to make the best decision for our family and just following that.
Yeah, you just fall back in your femininity, right? And let him take control. That
Feels good.
it does. It feels good. Definitely. But do you get called a pick me?
I
You
had to
do.
figure out what that was when I first got called that. I'm like, a pick me. And I was like, no, I'm married. And I kept saying that over and over until I found out what it was. And I was like, no, I'm married. I'm not trying to get picked by anybody.
Mhm.
And they said, no, it's a woman that acts a certain way to get validation from men. And I was like, well, wouldn't that be a single woman then? So, and then a lot of people told me I was right in my mentality. So, pick me is trying to get picked, but I'm married, so I don't think of it that way. But yeah, I've been called all types of names. I don't know if you guys say mammy over here. I've been called that too.
Mhm.
She's going to be taught every time I open my mouth. She's starting to mimic, so it's
That's
quite
so
funny.
cute.
Yeah, they're on the other side of the room, but she's still mimicking.
She hear you. No, it's crazy because they call married women pick me. And
Mm-hmm.
and that's only because of your mindset, because you don't have that
Right.
feminist mindset. So they're like, oh no, you can do that all by yourself. You don't need no man. You a pick me. You just wanted a man's validation, blah, 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 blah. And it's just like the shaming gotta stop. Like,
Yeah, I've been called a chameleon as well. Like they think I'm going to keep doing this for some type of gain. And my channel is still so small, and I do get super chats, but it's not enough to live off of, you know. So when I
mhm,
think about it, I appreciate when people do support my channel because it just helps me to continue to do things on the channel. But it's not for like an end goal. Like I just really enjoy talking to people, like being on a panel like this, and I enjoy going on other panels and just hearing what people have to say. So
mhm,
falling back in your femininity, to a lot of people it seems fake or it seems unreal, and I'm like, no, I'm here, like this is how I think, no one's forcing me, my husband isn't forcing me, this is the way I've always thought. And I think that's another reason why we ended up together, because for one, he's never dated anybody like me, and then on top of that, the way I kind of fall back in my femininity is still refreshing to him, because he hasn't met anyone who did grow up with both their parents in a stable household, and that also had my mind frame like, yeah, I don't want to be out here at the club doing all this stuff, I want to be at home. So yeah, that
mhm.
was new to him.
Yeah. And it's crazy that you mentioned chameleons because that was my next question. Is it hard for you to spot a chameleon in a space?
No, it's actually very easy for me, because all you have to do is hear, kind of a overview about them. So, how did they grow up? What were their activities growing up? And then you slowly start to put the pieces together. And
Mhm,
like, yeah, something isn't adding up here. Why do you think this way? Why do you believe that to be true? So, like you said, when I came to the space, I came from it from literally what people call the Godfather. I came from his level of understanding when it came to modern dating. And again, I was married when he came out, but still, I was able to still learn the same information along with everyone else, like the fit, feminine, friendly, the sign language, and all those things are so relevant to the way I grew up. And I'm like, yeah, this makes sense. This is the missing puzzle piece. I didn't hear growing up. I was sheltered and protected, so it was like,
mhm,
don't do this, don't go here, where is your brother at before you go outside? It was never go and explore the world. And luckily it wasn't, because that would have been
mhm.
very detrimental, I think. But
Exactly.
yeah.
Good answer. You have anything on that, Swag, before I move on?
Definitely a good answer for that, you know what I'm saying? And it's just so a shame now that we live in a world where femininity is demonized. Like women just can't be feminine anymore. You got to be strong. You got to be independent. You got to be this. You
Mhm.
got to be that. But
Yeah, I
it's
got called
like,
weak growing up. They're like, you're just so weak. No one's gonna like that. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Well,
yeah, but at the
me.
same time, what man wants to deal with a strong woman all the time? Like
Mhm,
it's one thing to be that man's rock every once in a while, because as men, we go through our hard times as well, as sometimes we just need that, that person to help cushion the blow for us and stuff like that. But at the same time, we don't want somebody that's trying to be up there on our level of toughness and hard and all this other stuff. Like, no, man, that's nothing cute about. I'm independent, I'm strong, I can take it all on my own. Like, okay, well then take it over there then, because you ain't about to be rolling with me.
mhm. Well, since we're on this topic right now, what is your view on feminism?
Ooh. If we're talking overall, it had its place in the past, but specifically with Black women, it doesn't help us do anything. It breaks our families up. It breaks our mentality when it comes to creating like strong families. Because from what I've seen, it was supposed to be an empowering thing. We're supposed to be able to go out and work and everything, but it's becoming now that it's forcing us to even do things we didn't want to do. There are some women that were supposed to work. There were some that were supposed to be home. But if you have so many people in the workforce, it forces us all to have to go to work. That's why everybody was like, you need 2 incomes nowadays. We only need that because it was forced upon us. There still should be a section of women that can work if they want to, but it shouldn't be that way for everyone. Even before having children, I was a stay-at-home wife, and the first thing they asked is, well, if there are no children in the home, why are you at home? You know what I mean? Why are you not out working? I'm like, I don't have to. What else do I have to say?
It's like they're jealous. They hate to see a woman staying home because they
Yeah, it was
can't.
so bizarre. Yeah, it was so bizarre. And I was like, okay, in hindsight, I understand the other side. Okay, if you're at home, why are you doing that? Well, I was highly stressed at work. Again, I had a horrible couple of bosses that love the power trip of being in charge. And I'm like, why am I working for this dude? I can just go work for my husband who actually loves me, is going to take care of me, and keep his word. I mean, my bosses would tell me they would give me a certain shift, and then a girl they would like on the shift, like, oh, I'm sorry, you're gonna have to work the same shift. This girl wants to work that. And then you come find out they're messing around. So I'm like, I only got the crappy shift because you were messing around with her. Like, that happened a few times as a waitress, where I finally got to the position and the trust and the, seniority to move up, and it never happened. So yeah, it was time to go. Housewives are seen as a novelty. Yeah, and that's the other thing. You don't have to make a lot of money to be a housewife. You just have to be willing to sacrifice and do without. So that was the other thing. Most women in my position, especially being in a marriage almost going on 2 years, when we were living in that studio apartment, we were staying in a box. And we got that studio because we just wanted so badly to be here and to start our lives that we were willing to do without for a while. And now we're in a bigger place, a much bigger place. I mean, this place is probably 5 times bigger than that studio apartment, but it was important to start off that way because we remained humble and we were able to save and do what we needed to do to get here.
Exactly. Oh man, so what is it, like a 2-3 bedroom?
It's I mean, I want to count it as a 3-bedroom, but it's a 2-bedroom, 2-bath. It has like a little den area, living room area. Have my, business stuff in the corner of a room. It's just really, really nice. Wow. So when we have guests stay over, they have a whole separate room. They have a whole separate bathroom. It's just really, really nice.
It sounds beautiful. Congratulations.
Thank you. A lot of women say they can only be feminine with their husbands, but we have banshees who are
Wait, what?
Very true.
True. Man. Well, here's the thing. I think most women should be nice and not kind, and I think most men should be kind and not nice. So no one's saying to be a banshee to other dudes, because you never know what someone could offer you or teach you. So I try to be as gentle as possible with everyone, but not too nice, especially to someone that's not my husband. But being nice in general, I think is important for a woman.
Right.
Definitely.
I think we touched on this question already, about the Gabrielle Union and Dwayne Wade going 50-50. Didn't you say something about 50-50?
I think I did say something how it doesn't work in the long term. Maybe in the short term, maybe for certain decisions, but I have not seen where 50-50 works because men and women are different. Guys have a different stamina for sustaining something. So I would say most relationships, if it's a man and a woman, the woman is going to wear down a lot quicker. She's going to give birth. She's going to take the vast majority of the child rearing and the hairstyles and the clothing and the shopping. I think most women, if they can work it out to save up, they should be retired about 45. And guys, they can just, in general, work longer. So yeah, I think if you can work it out to where the woman can, rest a lot easier. My goal is for both of them to retire early, but you have to get together really early in order to do that. So that's the double-edged sword when it comes to that. But again, women, our bodies just wear down quicker due to everything considered. So yeah, I don't think most women are supposed to be out here working until they're 80. But we've created a society, unfortunately, where women have to work now to afford things. I've even said to all the married women, if half of them could stay home, that would make a huge shift in the market, and we would go back to where the trades are actually going to be making the money they're supposed to. And it's slowly starting to happen. I've noticed that Even in my husband's like trade jobs and careers, they're starting to pay more because women aren't working those jobs. So they have to raise that salary to keep men at those jobs.
Exactly. So what if it's two millionaires? Like it's Dwayne Wade and Gabrielle Union, and they both are making good money. Do you think then they both should contribute to the rent and the money? Well, not rent because they're probably not renting anything, but to the bills.
Yeah, I would say two people making a decent amount of money, sure, things should be split. But for instance, the other things I said are still true. Her body is still going to wear out. She's still, the older she gets, is going to want to spend more time at home with their kids and, doing things around the house. Now, there are some women that can really push it out till they're much older, but from what I've seen, women just take so much more leave from work. They take a lot more vacations, and it's not because they don't want to work. It's just that their body isn't meant to do that long term.
Right.
Like back in the day, even if I think back just 2 generations ago, when a woman reached about 40, 45, her kids would be, late teens, early 20s. They would start taking care of the household and contributing to the household the same way a lot of Asian families do, where the families live together for a long time. That's the time where you're supposed to be resting and enjoying your grandchildren, not out in the workforce for a long period of time. Now, again, everyone's family is different. I'm just being very general. I do want to see more women stay at home.
Yeah.
The bottle's
You're
over
trying
there
to
ready.
talk.
Wait,
She's
one
trying to
second.
talk to you.
Look at baby.
The baby. She needs some attention.
Of course.
But yeah, like with Gabrielle Union, she's 51. He's like 41. They have a little baby at home. I don't
Yeah.
know if you can hear me. I'm gonna wait.
She's probably on mute right now. Well,
Yeah.
she's definitely on mute, so
Yeah.
Oh, we were figuring out her bottle situation. Okay, I'm ready.
No, it's okay. No, I was saying
oh,
like Gabrielle Union. I said she's 51. He's
Mm,
41. They have a little baby. The little girl, she's like what, 2 or 3?
I think
probably now,
so.
yeah.
And
Not
the
sure.
Yeah, and the baby probably has a nanny. She probably has a maid, so there's no need for her to stay home because she has somebody taking care of everything already. In that situation, do you think that's okay to
I
go for
mean, yeah, it's okay. It's just the mentality of you contribute equally to the bills, therefore you equally have control over the household. And I'm thinking that's more of the issue. I think the man should be the leader the majority of the time because of his life experience. Now, I did not know she was like 10 years older than him, so that makes it a little different because typically you want the man to be older so you don't see him as a peer. So I think that would be the other issue. But again, I think I believe that when it comes to family decisions, if you guys both have 50-50, there's going to be a lot of arguments and combativeness because you'll see them, equally to you. And again, a man is just easier to. I don't know exactly what to say, but I just think men should take the majority role when it comes to decisions in the household. Therefore, if they're going to have a majority decision, they're going to pay majority of the bills. Now, definitely, when me and my husband were dating at first, we were paying half and half of the bills. Again, that was our early 20s. Now in our 30s, I just wish it was different. I wish we would have got together earlier and we would have realized our roles, because a lot of the time the roles get mishmashed when you're doing that type of situation. Yeah.
But anything on this, Killa?
Yeah. Well, with the whole Gabrielle Union situation, man, in my opinion, she is the man in the relationship. So it is what it is with that. So,
Yeah.
and I stand on that. I don't care what anybody got to say. But as far as like the whole 50-50 thing, I can't rock with that, especially like in a relationship. Like I've always been a person that, I always do things on my own. And plus, like you say, it's like a conflict of interest, because if it's 50-50, and then if you're expecting going in as 50-50, but let's say one of these days or one of these months, somebody might not have the funds to take care of what needs to be taken care of. But then they be like, hey man, we agree this is 50-50. I did my half. Where's yours at? You know what I'm saying? And it's gonna be a big argument, big blow up and stuff like that. So no, man, like if I'm married or if I got a wife or a girlfriend, fiance, whatever, Like it already has to be established for me that yo, I got this. And like I said, and if I were to have my woman do it, it has to be like in case of emergency type of things. Other than that, I got it.
Right. Good point. That was a good take on that. All right, so I'm going to go into a different direction. Let's talk about the passport bros, because I know you hear that a lot in the space, Breann. I know you do. So we know that the passport bros have been a huge topic in the space. What are your views on passport bros looking for love abroad?
Do it if it works for you. I do see a lot of men, even like think about Billy down the street, right? Um, the girl he grew up with does not want him in general. Oh man, he's my little brother. I grew up around him. I want something new and exciting, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when it comes to passport bros in general, I think they've had enough experience with modern women that they're trying to find someone with a more traditional mindset. And I will be honest, I don't know anyone that thinks like me in person. I usually find women who think like me online. So I can only imagine maybe they have a similar experience. So if they're going abroad to find love, I do hope they find love. But there are good people everywhere. There are bad people everywhere. But the traditional mindset in general, it just isn't here. You really have to, find that needle in the haystack. Again, like what my husband says. So I encourage them to do it, just to, be as realistic as possible. Don't go over there and assume everyone has that mindset. You're still going to have to vet and see if that woman has the mindset and then go for it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. Swag.
I absolutely agree with what she said off rip. Like, I have nothing else to really add on that particular take. Like she said it perfectly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't have nothing to add on that either. She said exactly what I would have said.
Yeah, but I mean, I do have something to say though, for real. It's just like with the whole passport bro situation, everybody has this stigma about the passport always going over there to try to find some booty and this, that, and third. It's like,
I've heard that.
yeah, but it's like when the dudes are here, like it's always been with this saying, nice guys finish last. You know what I'm saying? And that's always been the motto in the society. Nice guys always finish last. It's always bad boys get the bag, the good girls, and all this other stuff. So the
Wow.
good guys, aka passport bros, they're looking at it like, yo, like I don't have to settle for that. I'm gonna go where I feel like I'm appreciated, and I'm gonna go where even if it's all the way across the country to find what's meant for me. Now, I'm not saying that some passport bros ain't looking to get some cheeks out the action. I'm not saying that because I'm pretty sure there are, but for the most part, they are actually looking for a woman that really wants to be down with them, really wants to love them unconditionally. Like that's what they're truly looking for. Because it's like if you can't find it at home, where else can you get it?
Right.
That's
You
true.
gotta venture out, unfortunately, yo.
Unfortunately, because it's really hard to find it here. But like Breann said, I just hope we get it together before our kids grow up and they don't have anybody to be with. Because
Yeah.
especially Breann, you have a little girl. You're not gonna want the men to not want her because she's a black girl. So we need to really change this whole mindset. Oh, I can't hear you.
Hmm.
You're muted. She's muted.
Oh, I was saying you might hear a
Oh, there
little
she go.
noise in the background. I'm actually pumping during this.
Okay.
So I want to make sure I have to
Girl,
literally
you're
go
fine.
off camera to hook up this pumping bra. So yeah, she's gonna have to eat eventually. So I want to make sure
Uh-huh.
she's ready.
Yeah. Do you
She's
have
ready
any?
to go.
How much more time you have left?
As far as pumping,
No, I mean
No,
like
talk about for the interview.
the interview.
well, I'm home now. I have time.
You have time. Now I'm curious. How long is pumping? Now I'm curious.
Um, I'm going to be doing this for the next 20 minutes, so I'm hooked up right now. Hopefully, my chest isn't on the feed. I was making sure it wasn't in case I did have
No,
to.
it's not. I got the words covered up, so you ain't gotta worry about it.
Do you want us to put a banner up so you can't see her? I mean, I don't
No,
know.
I actually have my shirt covering it, but it's still going to look like two things sticking out from my shirt, but I'm covered.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
No,
That's
it's not.
No,
You're good. We'll
Yeah,
just
you don't
leave
have
our
to do
links
the
right
banner,
there.
only if you want to. But yeah, you don't have to do the
We-
banner. I was just making sure I didn't look
We'll just
weird.
leave our links right there so nobody will see nothing but our names.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, I'll go back a tiny bit. There we go. But yeah, I'm fully
Uh-huh.
covered. It's just
Yeah. No,
See,
it's
you're
gonna be a
but
good.
little beeping noise in the
you're,
background for a
yeah,
little while.
you're
Yeah.
fine anyway. Like I said, can't nobody see nothing but your head, so you good.
Now,
Good.
is it painful? The pumping, is it painful?
At first, it's uncomfortable because it feels like you're being pinched on both of them, but you get used to it so quick. You just
Oh,
got to start very slow. This isn't going to make sense now, but it will. When you pump, there's two tubes that connect to both of the flanges, right? You
mm-hmm.
take one of the tubes out, you turn on the machine, turn it on low, and then connect the other tube, and then you start going up. My problem was I would put, both the cups on both the boobs, I would start it up, and it'd already be on 10, and I would get that initial pinch
I
until
know.
I went all the way back down. So my advice is you can start up the machine without it being fully hooked up, and then you hook up the other side because the suction won't happen until they're both hooked up. So again, you can always ask me later if you need to, but yeah, don't fully assemble until you already have it on low because it's going to remember the last setting that you used before you turned it off. And that was my problem. That was painful. You would start it up, you get that initial huge suck, and then I would have to turn it all the way down and start over. So yeah, it'll make sense when you know about it later on, but that's what you need to do. Start
Yeah.
on low and then go slow.
Well, I'm glad you got it together because ouch. Like, that sounds
Yeah,
like
because
Mm.
you build up
Whew.
because after a while they kind of go numb to the feeling, so then you're able to keep going up the levels to get the most milk out. But if it starts at 10 and your nips were just chilling, oh yeah, that hurts. But
yeah.
it's good now.
Right.
But the direct breastfeeding, I've only done it a few times. I'm mostly a pumper. And that's what most women end up doing because having her on my chest all the time isn't very feasible because when I want to sleep, it is so nice to have those bottles in the fridge for my husband to feed her. So,
Right.
yeah. So I prefer pumping. Again, I've done it. She's a biter. So,
Ow. You just got me over here cringing like ouch. I
after a
can't
while, you don't feel it, but initially, if they're like, "Dun, dun, dun, dun," you're gonna feel it. So I mostly, let's say a 90% pump, So yeah,
Right.
that's what I'm gonna stick with because it allows you more freedom. But again, most women they don't even want to pump; they just want to bottle feed, which is fine. But I wanted her to have the best I possibly could, so
Yeah.
I
Kudos to
pumped for
you
now.
for that because, like you said, a lot of moms get the formula, but they
Yeah,
think that the kids are smarter when they breastfeed. So,
I've heard that.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's very
Yeah.
smart, but I think it's just because I'm doing stuff with her every single day. But it could be the breast milk. I hope it is. This is
It could
this is
be.
some work right here.
Because listen, I heard I'm ADHD. I have ADHD, so my mom
Mm-hmm.
formula fed me. So
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that can play a factor in, your kids.
I didn't think of it that way.
Yeah.
Um, I think the other thing is I'm a twin. I think my brother got all the nutrients. He was the straight A student. I was the straight C student. So who knows? Maybe he got all the nutrients that I didn't because I came out first. Also, he stayed in for a little while.
Right.
Yeah,
So
maybe.
did your mom breastfeed or did she formula feed?
Straight formula. Yeah, she had two babies at once. She wasn't gonna breastfeed. She said she thought about it and it wasn't gonna work. So I think
No.
she tried it maybe twice, and then she was like, "Yeah, I'm not doing this anymore." And of course, she had two children to look after at the same time. That would have been
Mhm.
a lot.
Yeah, definitely. That is true. Oh, and one more thing I was going to bring up about the breastfeed is that I see kids that's like 6 years old, five, let me say five, still like wanting it, like grabbing their
Wow.
mom's breast and
Well, milk is addicting, so it makes
yeah.
sense because that initial like feeling you get is the same dopamine hit that a drug addict would get. So that's why dairy was so hard for me to give up when I was vegetarian because that was the last thing. I had to stop eating, chicken, beef, steak, all that, but I still could not give up pizza and dairy, and I didn't know why. And then I saw those documentaries. I believe it was in Cowspiracy and What the Health on why dairy is so addicting and the hardest thing to give up when you're switching your lifestyle. So
Mhm.
loved it. Still love it.
Yeah.
The puns
Right.
are hilarious, you guys. This is so funny.
Oh my God. All right, well, so we talked. Oh, last topic. because I always ask the girls this when I have them on, and you're a bright light, so this probably don't affect you at all. Colorism. What
Oh.
are your views on colorism, and do you think it exists, or do you think it's an ugly girl issue? That's the loaded big
Ooh.
question. You go ahead, take your time.
That is a
It's a lot.
quite loaded question. I've seen beautiful in all shades and I've seen ugly in all shades. The thing is, I believe most women believe it's a larger um, issue because of social media. I think most black men think most black women are beautiful. So I think that's
Mhm,
how I stand on it because I've seen, like I said, all shades, and especially when it comes to black people, we have such a large range. Um,
mhm,
that we're not acknowledging. And again, if we acknowledge that most black men want most black women, they do see them as beautiful in their natural state. I think the issue is when we start artificially changing and doing things. That's what the men don't like, not the fact that you're a
mhm.
certain skin tone over another. And then
Right.
there are some stereotypes on, the darker your skin is, the more of an attitude you've had. So I've heard that on a panel. But
Mhm,
again, growing up light skinned, I was always just told, people always assumed I was mixed ethnicity. They always thought my dad was, white. And I just showed you the picture.
mhm,
No, he's not white at all. He's a black chocolate skinned man. Um,
mhm.
and the way I was raised is, don't walk around acting black, act like yourself. So, yeah, that's what I was told. The way I talk, the way I speak, the way I walk through life, it was always assumed I had a white parent or, I was faking something. And again, I've never faked anything. I'm always myself. So yeah, this is just the way
Yeah.
I am, and I really hope more Black women do realize they are beautiful in their natural state with their natural hair. Again, slightly hypocritical because my hair is straightened, but I have an event tomorrow, and I just wanted something easy. Do some pin curls at night, wake up, shake them out. 'Cause, I'm a whole
Mhm.
child. Gotta get
Exactly.
out the door. And be on time
Yeah.
still. So I just thought it would be easier for the day. But again, 90% of the time on my channel, I'm wearing my natural hair or some
Mhm.
variation of my natural hair. So I at least practice what I preach. Usually it's in an afro or a puff. So, yeah.
Yeah, which is beautiful. I love afros, by the way. And you look amazing in yours, any way you wear your hair. And that's the thing. Black women, we can wear it in braids, dread, straight. We can wear it natural. We can put extensions in our hair, whatever, and still look beautiful. And a lot of black women don't see that, especially darker skinned women. And I
Mhm.
do think that a lot of times black men are afraid to approach dark skinned women because, like you said, the stereotype of them wanting to fight or just being negative. Nobody
Yeah.
want to go through that. So that's what I think is going on in our community. I don't think that black men don't find dark skinned women beautiful. I just find they find their attitude disgusting. So that's my take on it. How about you, Swag? What's your take on it?
I definitely have to say this colorism is definitely real because I've seen a lot of that growing up. You know what I'm saying? Even though I'm like a brown skinned brother, so I'm like right in the middle. So it don't really affect me none because I get both sides. So I can mess with a light skinned chick or I can mess with a dark skinned woman. So it really never affected me. But yeah, I've always seen like this. I'm not even gonna say a war between dark skin and light skin, but it's you could tell it's always been some animosity between them because it's always been the whole thing where light skinned people always get more people talking to them. They're more attractive, they're more approachable. Even though I've seen some light skinned folks that look like they need to be taking themselves to a barnyard or something, like they just don't even look right. But there, like I said, it's just a lot of stigma of
Right.
light skinned folks that always get more love than dark skinned people. And then on top of that, especially now that I'm older, I've seen a lot of, you know, dark skinned women that look better than light skinned women nowadays. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, yeah, it's always been like that. So as far as I can remember, and I don't think it's gonna change anytime soon. So, mm.
Yeah, and even like light skinned guys, I've heard used to have to prove themselves
Oh,
because
definitely.
you know what I mean? Because dark skinned men or boys will be like, "Hey, you're not tough enough."
Yeah, most light skinned dudes would always get called punks, and I don't want to say the other word because them like trigger words, but you get what I'm saying. They always get called punks and sassy and all of this stuff. Like they really would have to prove themselves to show everybody like they not really no punk. So yeah, they went through it though.
Yeah, definitely. Now let me ask you this, Breann. Who do you think have it worse? The men or the women when it comes to colorism?
Ooh, trust me, I'm sure they both have their sides. But listening to my husband's side of things, as him being a dark-skinned man, I would say he has it worse. Only because the perception I understand, again, I don't understand everything, but from what I've heard from people in my life, they will see a black woman come into a room and assume she's going to be loud and obnoxious, but they'll see a black man come into a room and think he's going to do something dangerous and violent. So I think that's the difference that I've heard. Again, I could be completely wrong, but that's what I've heard before. So one's going to be essentially annoying, one's going to be dangerous. So the way my husband walks through the world as a wonderful, sweet man, he still gets that perception until he opens his mouth and people truly get to know him. He's very popular at his job. He's very, well known, but when they first saw him, they didn't know what to expect, and he definitely proves them wrong on a daily basis. Hello, whoever just joined the chat.
Huscular and muscular is in the building.
Oh, it's H&M. Hey, H&M.
H&M, you there?
Hello.
Are you
He
muted?
probably has some audio issues or something.
Oh, he's coming back up.
Okay.
Take the other one down, H&M.
Yeah.
Remove that one. Are you there?
We have two tabs open.
What's up?
There you go. There you go.
Hey.
Hey.
How y'all doing? Let me give some shout outs. First shout out goes to my homegirl Breann, my top tier fan. Traditionalism's where she stands. Second shout out goes to Killa Swag. Got the bag. You don't care about no price tags.
Salute, homie.
And finally, Melody. I love what you're telling me. The way you be killing it, that's a felony.
Well, thank you. I love it. I love it. So, you have any questions for Breann that we didn't ask?
Actually, I've been chopping up with Breann for a while. It's very little. It's very little she hasn't really shared with me. But I don't really have a question. Just want to chime in on the panel just to see just to see what's up with y'all. Something will come to my mind eventually.
Yeah, he's on a lot of my panels. Trust me, they ask all the questions, and I'm pretty open with just about everything. So yeah, open book.
Well, out of all of the subjects we spoke about on this panel today, what's your input on anything?
Oh yeah, I just remembered something. That whole 50-50 thing. I remember yesterday we talked about Gabriel Union and Dwayne Wade going 50-50, and I spoke on this yesterday. I guess I'll say it again. When it comes to the 50-50, I believe the man should do what's akin to him and the woman should do what's akin to her. Anything that requires you to get sweaty, dirty, injured, let the man do that. Anything that requires, the woman that's soft and delicate, let the woman do that. If the satellite acting up, let the man climb to the roof of the building and check that out. Car needs fixing, let the man do it. You got 60-pound box need lifting, let us men do that. And what are some things women can be doing? I don't know, like cleaning up the house, fixing the garden, that kind of thing. Mowing the lawn, let a man do that. So anything that requires you to get sweaty, dirty, or maybe even injured, which I hope doesn't happen, leave that to the man. That's why I believe 50-50 should work. And the thing about it, I was on Dee Dee's panel earlier today, and she shows a video of a woman who had a kid by another man and didn't tell her boyfriend about it. So how does this tie into the 50-50 thing? Well, you know that old expression, an idle mind is a devil's playground. So you're dealing with a woman who's not doing much of anything productive with herself, and being on social media does not count. Making TikToks does not count as anything productive. She gonna have all the time in the world to go out there cheating. She gonna have all the time in the world to go out there and find herself a new babe. So if she's not keeping herself busy with something productive, that could be a problem. And maybe the 50-50 relationship gives her a chance to go out and do something, bring home some bread, bring home the bacon, that kind of thing. That way she ain't got time to be worried about what her man doing or what she gonna do with the next man. That's just my take on the 50-50 thing. It can work for some, but it ain't gonna work for everybody.
Yeah, I was going to say that too. For women who stay at home, I think it is important for you to have a hobby or a talent that you do outside your family. Now, I haven't played my viola in a while, but as far as like couponing and then as far as like making products, like that keeps me busy in that nice little gap of time I have in between having nothing to do. So if you don't have a hobby, if you don't know how to sew, if you don't know how to cook very well, learn how to cook, learn how to sew, pick up some type of extra talent that's not only going to help your family but keep you busy when you're bored. I think that's really important. Knitting, something that you can actually use and that your family is going to use during that downtime, because there's going to be downtime. I mean, right now with a young child, yeah, I'm busy almost every second, but imagine she's 1 or 2 and she can play independently. What am I going to do? Now I'm going to be cooking. I'm going to be sewing her clothes. I'm going to be showing her how to sew. I'm going to be, doing all these other things, hopefully still making body products. Then having things to do in between is going to help you not have that idle mind. And I think that's what's really helped me too. I always had something to do in between time.
Mm-hmm. That's what's up. Hey, yo, Melody.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Melody.
Sorry,
So we still
yeah.
okay. So is we still doing this the one at a time, or we just gonna make this a full panel?
No, we're gonna do the full. I think the full panel will be better.
Full panel will work for me.
All right, then.
But I want to hear Game Changer. Hi, Game Changer.
Hey, how you doing?
What up, Game Changer?
What's going on?
Salute.
Swags, Breann, salute. Yeah, so no, I just came up when she said couponing. My ears perked. Like, oh, that I like. That is a keeper, fellas. Y'all, you find a couponing woman, that is a keeper. So, yeah, there's always.
You sure about that?
Well, nothing is 100%, but yeah, it is.
Okay.
It does show a respect for your money. And things like that. Couponers rarely overspend on things, frivolous things like labels. A purse is a purse. It doesn't really matter if it has an Italian name brand on it. And a couponer know this, So yeah, there's always in my own personal dealings, there's always like certain things that trigger me and turn me on. And when I'm trying to decipher between Madonna and whore, when I'm trying to categorize women between Madonna and whore, and I told Melody one of them, and the other one is couponing. That definitely gives them a lot more Madonna points, in my opinion.
What do you say about that, Breann?
I would definitely say I'm more of a realistic couponer. If you guys have ever seen the show Extreme Couponers, how they would go in a store, get like a $2,000 worth of stuff for like $5. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about going in with an idea of what you want. There are times we walk in the store, I'm like, you know what? I want to get us a full dinner and dessert for $5. I'll go in, I'll look at the app, I'll look at coupons, I'll look at other couponers and be like, okay, how did they get that for so cheap? So it is a mixture of shopping frugally, but then only buying things on sale. There's a lot of times that Impossible, Beyond whatever stuff will go on a sale, right? And then I'll also have a coupon. So boom, we got our dinner for like $2.50 for 2 nights. And then there's a vegan new dessert that's on a sale because it's new. And then I have a coupon with it. And then also I'm able to use my points at whatever store we're at, typically Target. And then boom, that's only $2 for an entire pie. Boom, that's how you do it. So you have to go in with an idea nowadays. You can't go into the store and do what those women were doing in the past because they have a lot of restrictions on that now because of that show. A lot of stores were losing money every time things like that were happening. But luckily, if you think about it, the coupon is actually paying the store for that, but they were losing a lot of inventory. So I think that was the main issue with that show, is losing the inventory, not necessarily the money, because it counts as a rebate for the store. If you don't know what a rebate is, it's you get your money back that you've already paid, or the store gets money based on someone else paying that rebate amount. So that's a small introduction, but it's fun. It's fun when we go to that checkout counter and my husband is like, how did you do that? Are we allowed to leave out of here? Yes, babe. We legally paid for it. We can leave. So that was when he first realized, because we had almost a full panel of things for free or very cheap. And he was like, are you sure we're allowed to do this? Like, we're black. Are you sure we can walk out of here with all this stuff for nearly nothing? I'm like, yeah, we did it legally. I did my research. We're out, you know? It was so funny when I finally realized someone else thought it was kind of cool what I did. So yeah, he was very proud in that moment that we walked out with free supplies, free food, free supplies and free food because I did my research. You know, it's work. That's why I think if women are able to stay at home, they're able to find fun in that. That search, like how do we get something free today? How do we make this work? And we've been making it work. And one income.
Yeah, see, stuff like this. I tuned out a lot of what you said because it's none of my business. As far as the couponing stuff goes, as I'm not a couponer, but you know, you do. These are things that you look for. You know, the couponers, the ones that can, you know, remember everybody's birthday and send like the right card and stuff, and you know, the ones that get the wedding invitations right. Just you know, people that can. What's that? Okay, people that can organize, women that can organize and manage, you know, certain social events and certain things, can navigate feminine things, like being cost effective in the shopping, you know, is something that is a determining factor between Madonna and whore. You know, so it's very, very, very good qualities that men should look for, in my opinion. If you're looking for something long term, that is.
Yeah, she was meant to be a wife, it sounds like to me. From the beginning to now. It's like she never changed from what I see.
I feel like it changed for a short amount of time to try to fit other people's narratives better. Because I was told I was too soft, I was too nice, all these things that are good for being a wife now. But I just eventually reverted back to what I knew and what felt the most natural for me. So I think that's what actually helped. Because I've described in college where, I mean, the women around me were like, "You're so boring. Nobody's gonna want a boring wife." And I kept hearing that, you know, femi narrative over and over. You need to be more extroverted. You need to stop being so boring. You need to come out with us. The funny thing is, the one time I was supposed to go out with a group of girls on my floor, they got into a fight that night. But I forgot my ID back in my dorm. So it's like, you know what, you can just stay at the dorm. Oh, okay. So I went back to the dorm. They came back. Weed was out. One girl had a scratch on her face. One had a busted lip because they had gotten into a fight. And I just remember thinking, I don't know what was looking out for me that night. But yeah, I just forgot my ID, so I had to walk back, and they all went to the club. So it worked out. They ain't never been after that since, so it worked out.
Wow.
Into a girl fight in your adult life?
In my adult life, no. The funny thing is, there were multiple girls who wanted to fight me because I was always the girl in high school that was picked to give the football players their homework and their paperwork. Like if one came back from being sick or something and they were all in their huddle, the teachers would be like, okay, Breann, I need you to go give them their paperwork. So at one point I was giving a guy his paperwork and he was asking me questions about the teacher and I was answering him. From the distance, his little cheerleader girlfriend was sitting there watching us have this conversation, assuming something else was going on. And she wanted to fight me. And I explained to her, like, no, that's not what's happening. Like, I was just doing what I was told to do by the teacher. I don't know him. That was never my intention. But the problem was he was being very nice to me. I think he had complimented my voice even back then in high school. I'm like, oh, well, thank you. I appreciate it. I've never heard this before because I don't talk to boys, you know. So every single time something small and minute would happen like that, a girl wanted to fight me and I was able to talk my way out of it every single time.
Yo, are you my sister?
Oh yeah, baby, you got some haters.
No,
baby, you got some haters. You got some haters out there.
Are you? No, I'm sitting here listening to Breann speak, and it's like we went through the same problems. It's almost like she's me, you know, like with the girls wanting to fight you because you're too soft, your voice is too soft, or people take you just speaking to someone regular as you're flirting with them because you have a soft voice, and it's like, No, that's not it. You know what I mean? That's just not it. So oh my God, 100%, I'm with you on that, girl. I understand you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but in my adult life,
Y'all got some
no. I
haters.
did some online little beef stuff because someone was being disrespectful on my channel. If you know, you know. But someone was being disrespectful on my channel, and I checked them like, you don't get to do that over here. This is what I do, and I'm not telling any lies. So why am I being treated this way? So yeah, that person deleted all of their messages and ran to the wind like they were supposed to. But again, it was someone from my hometown. So I'm like, you're really wasting your time doing this on my channel on a public platform. And then my subscribers, even back then, were going in at her. It was crazy. So yeah, I've had support from the beginning because I've been myself from the beginning.
Yeah, don't ever
Bree.
either.
Bree, what exactly happened that day? I've been on your panel before. Like, I don't remember that happening.
Oh, wow.
How long ago was this?
Ooh, you said how long ago was this? Ooh, this is about 3 years ago, actually. So I was like,
Oh, okay.
yeah, this is a while ago. So it wasn't necessarily my panel, but I did mention it on one of my lives before. Like how people will come to my channel spewing lies because I don't know, you're upset that I'm like successful in my own way or I'm happy with my life. Because I also mentioned, my husband and how happy we were. And the first thing that person wanted to say is like, he's not all that, he's this, he's that. No, I know exactly who I married. I know exactly who he is. And again, he grew up, in the same hometown I did. He had his fun, so when we have these conversations, I'm like, I know who he was back then. I know who he is now. And he's still a wonderful person. And for people to say any lies about me or my family, you don't get that from me. And I did it in a feminine way still, but it's hard to sound very feminine when you're going back and forth, in the chat or back and forth in a comment section. So, yeah,
oh yeah,
you got to put it into lies
yeah.
too at the same time.
Breann, let me tell you, I've been on panels before since 2020 or whatever. 3 years of going on panel after panel, and let me tell you, from time to time, you always gonna have that one knucklehead come on there spewing a bunch of nonsense and BS. And I'm gonna let you, but you know by now, I don't respond well to bull. I don't respond well to nonsense. So if I hear it, I'm going in on said person. But we gonna go in on said person because no, I don't tolerate that. So I know exactly what you're talking about. A hustler can become a tussler overnight if it come down to it.
I already know. Yeah, and I have smoke shows. No one ever comes up for smoke anymore, and it's crazy because I do my research before my shows, and then at the same time, even if you're from my hometown and you think you know me, you don't, because I don't talk to a lot of people. I mean, even my family, I love them, but I don't tell them all my business. The only people who really know me is like my twin brother and my husband.
Well,
they don't want no smoke with us.
Have you ever had any penis bombers on your channel?
Who, me?
No, Breann. Have you ever had any penis?
What?
People
you mean like the ones that'll come in the studio like exposing themselves? Yeah, I've had that a couple times.
That's crazy.
So disgusting and disheartening. I told me I cried.
Wait, why is it just you and Melody?
Why would you expose yourself like that to me? It's
horrible.
No, because y'all clip coupons. I mean, but no, because it's just you and Melody. Like, I don't see the correlation. Like, yeah, I don't.
Yeah, it's really.
No, they hear your voice and you listen. I'm not a flasher, but y'all have soft voices, and apparently something in y'all voice just enticed. Like, ooh, I gotta flash that. Like, all the flashers in the world are looking for a certain person to flash, I guess.
Yeah, but it's really disrespectful for especially Breann because she has a family, her husband and her child, and it's just like she said, disheartening that someone actually.
Yeah, and I was pregnant when that happened. The first time I noticed that, I cried after. I was like, I just feel so disgusting. Like, I didn't ask for that, and then you're in the studio, and I almost brought you up until I realized you were doing that on the other side of the camera. So yeah, it was horrible. And then sometimes they'll show prawn videos. First you'll see a person. I'm like, do your hands like this so I know you're a real person, and they never do it, and then they flash over to the video, and again, it never ended up on my channel, but I saw it in the studio, and that's what made me upset. So I was pregnant one time, it happened. The other time, I think I had just had my baby, and I was very sensitive, and it was uncalled for. It's really hurtful.
Yep. Well, at
Wow.
least they didn't come and do it on your channel because they did it on my stream. Like, let's say I brought them on, I brought them on StreamYard and they're just flashing it. And they
Oh,
actually,
in my shorts. The funny thing is, you see how Killa Swag has this thing in the corner?
Yeah.
I had a
Yeah.
whole panel. He was at the very bottom and I was blocking it. So I saw it, but no one else did. It's on my shorts. If you guys get bored, it's on there where literally you see the top of his head and he's showing a prawn video. And I was like, oh my God, they almost stole it. But it just so happened it had a banner that covered it up. Horrible.
thank
Absolutely
God.
horrible.
Yeah.
Saved by the banner.
Kind of
Right.
shoes,
Yeah,
That was a good one.
right.
They
Right.
read it.
Mhm.
kind of shoes do you wear, Breann?
How much what?
What kind of shoes do you wear?
Ooh, I have these like slides from Amazon. They're super thick and comfortable. But I'm always home. What shoes do I wear? It's funny. I can't even tell you a name. They're just, again, we got these two pairs of very comfortable slides. And then I got gifted a pair of slides from my mom. They're like Adidas from the Adidas store. But other than that, I don't really know name brands. Just a pair
And
of
see,
anything with those laces. I can just slide my feet in, to be honest.
This is what I'm talking about, fellas. When determining the difference between Madonnas and whores, look at things like their shoes, how much it costs. Like, do they know all the name brands, the Italian, stuff
She's a
that.
keeper.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna say just look for this because women are going to adjust, but look for things like that. Look if she has practical shoes on, like things like that. This is what you do if you want to categorize women. This is what you do. Like, how does she care about stuff? Like, if she's not focused on fashion, if she's not overly focused on fashion and what name brand shoes she has, then what is she focused on? Well, she's focused on family and other aspects of life. So yeah.
Wow. Like, you just seem so pure, Breann. Like, it's like,
oh my goodness.
I'm serious. Like, I love this. Because usually women our age, like in our, early 30s or whatever, we're not pure, It's just, the sisterhood got us.
No, trust me, the sisterhood did have a grip on me for a while because I was always told I was just, like I said, so boring, so predictable. I wasn't fun. And those are the times where I tried so hard to just fit in with them. I would go out, for instance, on a date and they'd be like, well, did you have fun after? And I'm like, we talked in the car for a few minutes. What do you mean? So they always wanted the next phase of what I was doing and to be something that just wasn't in my nature. Now, again, I went to college. College was like the twilight zone for me. I was like, people are walking around doing what? So every single time I walked out the door and, my dorm, I was like, I don't want to be here. So I think I only stayed on campus less than a year. And then me and my husband ended up moving in together for a little bit, which I don't recommend. But it worked out for us. We moved in pretty much towards the end of college and it worked out. But again, I wish I never went to college. I've said that a lot of times. Again, I tried so hard to be best friends with the woman on my floor. Again, I tell this story. Again, it may not be 100% accurate, but pretty much 3 girls left the first semester all pregnant by the same guy. So I'm like, this is nice. We got to get out of here, So yeah, again.
Wait, you said walking around doing what? What were they doing?
Oh, in college, everything. People were walking around, naked. People were, walking around throwing condoms and, fighting and then, messing with the same guy, not going to class, day drinking, like all these things I had never seen or been exposed to.
Day
Again,
drinking?
everybody was
Drinking
acting as if it was the last days or something. So, yeah. It was wild. All the things I saw in college, I could never unsee, and that's part of the problem. I don't want any of my kids to go to college. It's either a trade, or if you need to go to college, it better be in STEM. Because again, the U.S. community, exactly. That's what I'm saying. When it comes to college, there were a lot of men that were just out there having fun. I'm pretty sure he didn't want to be a 3-time father, but that was his reality by the time his first semester of college was done. So. Yeah. Again, people were having fun, right? For some of those people, I acknowledge that was their first time out of the house. And again, it was my first time out of the house for a lot of reasons. I was very sheltered, but it seemed like when I turned 18, okay, you're an adult, go out into the world. I was not ready. I should have stayed home until me and my husband got together, and I wish that's the way it was. Again, as far as being pure, I just finally reverted back to my nature. And then again, my husband was able to, get with me early enough. But I'm telling you that 1-2 years I could have done without.
Now, I think that you're a little bit hard on the women that were walking around naked. I mean, because like, what else can you do on laundry day? Like, I mean,
damn it, game changer. Oh my!
All right,
God.
go ahead, game changer, man.
Well,
now you see why they call him game changer.
There was a pool, so I'm like, they were just living like, the fear of getting, or not the fear, the excitement of getting caught. So, I saw a woman, getting walking around the street. I saw some men too, and it was a mess. It was a huge mess. And again, I could have done without it. And that's why I don't think most women should go to college. Use that year after to, start your business, start a trade. But then after that, be looking for a partner immediately after. Between 19 to 22, I think, are those pivotal years to find someone to build with. Anything after that, you're pretty set in your ways as a woman.
I agree. Melody, you're set in your ways.
Excuse me?
For the most part.
Yeah, Melody, when was the last time you couponed?
I haven't. Y'all can get on
your ways.
I'll show you my ways. You'll learn. I mean, honestly, they have apps now. Once you get Ibotta and Fetch, half the work is already done for you. So yeah, I'm always on those apps, trying to figure out.
Send me the apps. That way I can start.
I will. I think I have at least 4 I'll send you. But yeah, usually the app is where I'll start, and then your particular store will always have coupons on their particular app. So yeah, whichever side of the country you're on will determine that.
Wait a minute. You don't actually clip it?
No, I used to, but now you don't have to clip them at all. Nope.
Oh, crap. It's modern women. No, you're actually supposed to clip it, like, because
you can like physically clip it, but like 90% of them are online. Every once in a while in the mail, like if I send because here's the tip I used to do. If I used to love a brand, especially a vegan brand, I would actually get a postage stamp, write them a letter, and mail it to them, and they would mail me back coupons. I would say, I love your product, but it's getting too expensive. And then after about a week or so, I would get a coupon book full of coupons to use at the store for that particular brand. So I would recommend doing that too. If you like, again, I don't want to list any non-vegan brands, but if you love a brand, get old-fashioned, type them up a letter, put a stamp on it, and mail it to their headquarters, and they'll send you coupons back, like a coupon book.
So you mean to tell me that if I write Raisin Bran Kellogg's and say, hey, it's too much, and how come y'all don't have like single serve with the rest of them with like corn pops and everything? They never put Raisin Bran in the little box. They'll send me coupons for Raisin Bran? I didn't know that.
Well, yeah, you can make a complaint, but typically it's like, hey, I love your product, but it's getting a little expensive. Do you have coupons or discounts so I can continue to support your brand? And yeah, they'll send you coupons.
Holy crap. Okay, do this for me. When you have time. When you're not tending to your husband. How come ice cream sandwiches don't have all chocolate? They're either vanilla or they're Neapolitan. Could you like, you're connected to people?
What?
Like, no, I'm serious.
Good question. I'm sure. I'm trying to think. I guess that I can't think of something that's all chocolate. But when there's something not in the market, I find a way to make it myself. So I've made my own versions of ice cream before to put in our freezer. But it is fun just to like go to the store and buy one, because we're actually going to go to the store, I'm sure, after this, because we have a show tomorrow, and I am not trying to spend money. So some deli sandwiches, chips, and I make a really delicious s'mores cookie bar, so I'm going to make that so we can pack that for lunch tomorrow.
Well, no, I had an ex do that. I had an ex, take away the vanilla and strawberry and replace it with chocolate. Now, the problem with that is that when you have like a box of 10 Neapolitan things, you only get 3 chocolates out of it. Like that's the problem with that. Like I wish that they just sold you the chocolate ones. That's just me. I'm just saying, like, you write companies, if you're in a letter to the ice cream people, like if you could mention that, I'd say thank you.
He's dead serious too.
Bree,
I know he
Bree.
is.
Bree, I had one question. What the heck kind of college was you going to back in the day? Because when I was in school, nobody I knew was doing half the stuff you was doing. Yeah, there was some knuckleheads and ratchets out there, but they weren't in abundance. But then again, I went to school in the early 2000s, so maybe it was different back then. And I grew up in the city, the nitty gritty city that took no pity, and that's where I went to school. I didn't see a lot of that stuff on college campus. So what kind of school was you at?
The end of day school, apparently, because that's how people were acting. I was like, what's going on here? I don't know. I just think it was their first time in college, and they just let it all loose when they realized they had no parental, people, looking at them or whatever. But it was in Ohio, so I think also being near small towns, they had that small town mentality. So I think that was the other part that played into it. Which one? Which one do you want the milk in?
That one.
This one? How much?
Oh, I don't know. She's sleeping now.
Oh, great. If she's sleeping, I'll just give me one more bottle.
By the way, shout out to your husband.
Oh, yeah. Shout out to him. Definitely.
Salute
I have
to him.
milk. That's what I did while we were talking. That's a lot, actually. I'm surprised. So this is like 6 ounces, and this is 2.5.
You was able to fill up a bottle and a half?
What are those?
Wow.
Oh my God.
Flinges. You put the nips in
What are
here.
those?
You put your nips in here while wearing a pumpkin first, and then the milk goes down. So yeah.
So it's like milking a cow, basically, without using your hands.
Not the nips, yo.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, my husband.
Damn it, Breann.
Yeah, that's the one thing you can't do, my love. But yeah, no, it feels great that I'm empty now. 6.
So
7,
you don't have
8.
any more. You
Have
don't
any more what?
You don't have any more milk.
Nope.
Not for
gone.
today's session.
It's all gone.
Yep, till tomorrow.
This one. Oh, you said it's tomorrow, yeah.
Yeah.
You want more
So
now?
that's like for all day, pretty much. That's all you can get all day, or is that like later?
No, it's every 2 hours.
Oh, I don't know. I don't have kids.
No, that's a good question. Some women can pump a lot more than this in a sitting, but I would say like 9 ounces in one sitting. That's a good amount for me.
Take notes, Melody.
I think all this laughing is helping. Yeah. Every month, I would like a little bit more. I would like to do like 12, maybe 14, but I really got to, be hydrated and well fed. So yeah.
So you got to eat a lot of food.
Well, I wouldn't say a lot. I would say a good volume of fruits and vegetables, because a lot of women think, especially when they're pregnant, you got to eat for 2, and that's not the case. My doctor actually said that's a harmful mindset, because the baby is only like this big, and even at their biggest, all they need is the prenatal. So I did not eat any differently while pregnant. Maybe an extra yogurt, here or there, coconut yogurt, of course. But I didn't eat that much different. Because people are like, you got to eat a lot of food for the baby. The only thing that baby needs is your warm womb in that prenatal. They don't need actually food at all for a long time. Yeah, so never let anyone tell you eat for 2. So they were trying to give me extra food and extra plates. I'm like, no, I'm full. I'm not going to over-engorge myself. And that's why I didn't gain a lot of pregnancy weight, because I wasn't eating crazy. Now, towards the end, it was the holidays. So yeah, I ate a couple extra little treats.
Yeah.
For the most part, I didn't gain a lot of extra pregnancy weight. I know, again, I'm not going to say which one, but one of my aunties said she gained like 60 pounds during her pregnancy. Yeah. I'm still within 10 pounds of what I was before getting pregnant. So 10 pounds, and I'm back in my pre-pregnancy weight. And I think it's important that we got to stop telling Black women especially that they have to engorge themselves while pregnant. That's harmful and it's untrue. Your baby is going to get everything it needs as long as you're taking a prenatal. Now, talk to your doctors. Don't quote me exactly, but talk to your doctor. But I was taking a prenatal, but also an additional iron pill, because the one thing the baby will take is that iron. And my doctor wanted to give me an iron infusion, but I started taking an iron pill, and the doctor actually canceled it because I had enough iron in my system after a few weeks of just adding an iron pill.
Yikes.
Trust me, I did not want that infusion, because the infusion is they have to put an IV in your arm and you have to sit for an hour while iron is pumped through your veins. Sometimes the vein pops, sometimes it doesn't stick the first time, and I hated needles, so I'm like, I'm gonna figure it out. And I looked it up online and they said add an iron pill. Now my absorption rate is different being a vegan, because they told me initially, you can take the iron pill, but it's probably not going to do anything. And I was like, okay, but I still took it, and it absorbed a lot better, possibly because I'm vegan. Again, I'm not sure. Quote your doctors, but our absorption rates are different because of what we eat or what we don't eat. So, yeah. I was able to absorb a lot of that iron, a lot more than I could previously. So, yeah, I didn't need to do an iron infusion. I didn't need any additional meds while pregnant. I just ate lots of fruits and vegetables. I craved a lot of apples and oranges. So I ate a lot of apples, oranges, mangoes during pregnancy, which could have helped it be easier as well. Because there's studies, again, quote your doctor, look it up yourself. That say when you eat a lot of fruits and vegetables during your pregnancy, it makes things easier. So, yeah. A lot of broccoli, apples, oranges. I have apples and peanut butter as a snack a lot, because we always had apples and peanut butter at the house. And that's what I ate the day before going into labor. Apples, cut up apples with peanut butter.
Wow. The strange things you eat when you're pregnant. Apples and peanut butter.
Apples, oranges, and peanut. Like, I was dipping the oranges and the apples into the peanut butter and eating it. It was delicious. But that's what I really, really craved. And that was the night before. I'm pretty sure it was within 24 hours before giving birth. So, yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, I know people say, hey, I was craving pickles and this and that. But you said apples and oranges and
yeah,
peanut butter.
Lots of fruit and kale. I had a lot of kale the day my water broke. So I had kale, onions, mushrooms. Yeah, things like that.
Wow. Well, I guess being pregnant isn't as bad as people say it is.
My pregnancy was wonderful. The last week, though, I felt her like sitting. I don't know, and Melanie, this is going to be a little weird. It wasn't painful, right? But I felt like she was sitting right at my opening the entire last week. You could feel a head just sitting in there. You know, like during your period, you feel like cramping?
Yeah.
It's like that, but without the pain. Just something sitting right there where that.
No, please.
My stomach gets very weak.
No, it's not that it's weak. It's you all cramping in baby head, vagina. Well, I don't want to think of.
Well, I just wanted her to have a small heads up.
No. Men need not think that. We need not think that. I'm sorry. I hate to interrupt. I know it's your show, but no.
No, well, I'm going to answer this. Cynical has a question. How long was I in labor? Really good question. They count labor from right after your water breaks. If that was the case, it'd be a day. But literally between the labor, what they call labor pain, the labor surges, and actually having my baby, it was like 5 or 6 hours. It was the shortest time anyone had ever seen.
This is so confusing. Like the labor, the time, the water break. Like I don't get any of that. I don't understand.
So pretty much your water breaking means the baby's pretty much ready to come out. And what I did not know is that it wasn't just going to be one big gush. It was going to happen consistently.
Close your ears, GC, right now.
I want Melody to be able to ask all of the questions because, again, I didn't have a sister, cousin, auntie. Nobody told me this. I only heard the horrible things. But the fact that I was, very consistent with that meant I was going to be more comfortable. Because sometimes it happens in one big gush, but that's not typical. But it was a very short labor, so like a day.
Did you see overall this?
I was just saying, pain-wise,
and that's the reason why I left. And that's because this is lady talk. This is woman talk. This is just like y'all leave the locker room when we leave. We leave whatever room y'all talk about gushing and stuff like that. Like that's so I leave. That's why I left.
But no, I would say it was very comfortable for the most part. There are a lot of things that I didn't have to worry about because, again, I had a doula there, my husband, and then towards the last 2 hours, my twin brother actually brought us food, but he got stuck because there was actually a protest going on. And I guess I've said this before, but someone else had gotten deleted, and they were protesting that deletion here in Portland. So he he was in there in the corner while I was giving birth. It was very cool. Now it sounds weird because he's a boy, but he's my twin brother, so he knows me very well. So it was wonderful having him there because my mom wasn't able to be there.
Right. Well, do your brother have any kids? You told me no.
Oh yeah, no, yes. My twin brother just had a baby a few months prior to mine. So I think she's almost about to be a year. But then my older brother, he has 3 children. Are you the older or younger? I'm the older twin by 2 minutes.
That is crazy.
Yeah,
and being
so,
a twin,
we were pregnant at the same time, if you think about it, because his fiance was pregnant towards the end of her pregnancy, and I had just gotten pregnant. Again, the timing worked out. It just so happened to be like that, but it was not planned. It just so happened to work out like that.
I think I will plan it with my twin, especially like if I have a sister or brother. I will plan it like.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
It just so happened to happen like that. I think that was hilarious because again, he's a boy. So again, the fact that his lady was pregnant with his baby and I was pregnant, it was just funny. But we were only pregnant at the same time for like 2-ish months or something like that, a month and a half. Yeah. Let's see. My brother was also older than me by 2 minutes. Yeah, hilarious.
2 minutes.
Awesome.
That is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask a separate question. Do you plan on doing like how people do YouTube videos with their kids and their babies and stuff? Do you plan on doing that?
Yes, but possibly without her face being in it, just like her essence, like maybe her foot, the back of her head. I think our child is absolutely beautiful. She looks exactly, I would say she looks exactly like me with parts of, my husband mixed in there. But again, we've been through a lot of bullying in the past when it comes to YouTube and social media. I don't want my child to be exposed to that. So we said, obviously, on these panels, I will freely talk about it, but having her on there, I think the internet is very dangerous for children. I want to give her all the information possible so that when she is 18, she chooses to be on social media, she can. But, with all the knowledge I have of how horrible it can be, there are times I've cried and, had to talk about it in therapy, how relentless the bullying can be online. And I don't think children should be exposed to that at all. I see a lot of baby influencers, and it's just dangerous. You don't want to put in the limelight that way to put them in a dangerous situation. So, yeah, you'll hear in the background, you might see a foot hand, but as far as her face, I think we're going to keep that off of social media.
Okay, fair enough. The reason I put it in the background because there's one who does that. I was gonna see if that was an example, but I didn't know if the kids get bullied too. So, smart move, like you said.
Yeah, think about Jay-Z and Beyonce's kid bullying, even for super famous people. So if you think about it in that context,
what do
they can bully someone like that. What do you think they're going to do to me? So,
yeah, they were saying Blue Ivy. They was bullying her because of her hair, and they were saying she's ugly and she looked like Jay-Z. They was doing a lot.
That sucks.
Yeah, she has
even
beautiful
before she
hair.
was born, they were putting baby likenesses with JC's face just right on it. I was like, you guys are horrible. She's not even here yet, and you guys are doing these horrible things. But yeah, I think for the most part, kids should be off of social media until they're 18 and they've received all the information, because this is the first generation we're seeing how big of an impact social media can have. So in the mentality of children, their school, interactions, all these things are still brand new. That right now the kids going through right now are the test or guinea pigs for how social media messes up, relationships and friendships.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Then you could be bullied, in school, but nowadays you can be bullied through, social media and affect more than just the people around you. So yeah, it's bad out here, and I just don't want any of my children to go through that.
Absolutely not. And you know what's crazy?
It's called cyberbullying.
Yeah.
Well, Melody, thanks for having me, and I greatly appreciate you.
Thanks for coming.
Take care, GC.
And H&M and Killa Swag, appreciate all of you.
Appreciate you too, bro.
Appreciate you too. Yeah, but my 10-year-old nephew, he can't concentrate. All he do is hold his phone in his hand, and he be on YouTube a lot. Even though his mom have the parental lock on it, it still says crazy things. Like I was listening, and what he was saying, I don't know if a 10-year-old will understand, but he was saying some subliminal crazy stuff on there. And I'm like, what is this? Even with the child lock on it.
Yeah, there was a little scary face that I don't want to say it because it'll ding your channel possibly, but there was a
Yeah, don't do
scary
it.
face going around on the kids' channels telling them to do horrible things to their parents and themselves. So even in a small, minute way, even if her face isn't exposed to social media, I still don't want her exposed to it really at all. There are so many videos and things we can do outside of social media and the internet where she can still have a good childhood without being exposed to too many crazy sick things too early, because again, you can't protect them forever. But I think one of the best ways I could have been protected as a young adult and even like a young kid was more information. My parents chose the route of, I'm going to hide everything from you, and then when you become an adult, you'll be exposed to everything at once, which I think is detrimental as well. But again, I was able to, work my way through it. But yeah, I went through the trauma of realizing that I knew nothing about the world until I was exposed to it. And I don't want anybody I care about to go through it that way. Because again, I wasn't like sheltered, locked up in a closet or something. I was just, you can't leave the house unless someone's with you. So that meant you're really never leaving the house for anything other than, birthday parties and, dance classes. So again, my life was very, very small, and it opened up in college to the point where I'm like, I don't like this. I want to go back to what was comfortable and fun for me, which was, sewing and, playing instruments and doing things at home. So I think that's the best way for me to actually enjoy life. And again, when I leave the house, it is nice to have protection of my twin brother and my husband. We actually moved across the country because my twin brother actually already lived here for the last 7 years. So when we came here, we already had, his input on the city, and he was starting his family. So it was just really nice to kind of go back to, one, my twin brother, and two, to the comfort of knowing that I have these strong, wonderful men around me that want the best for me.
Yeah.
I got a question though. Speaking is somewhat similar to this topic, but when your child becomes of age, what do you plan on doing as far as like education goes? Are you going to have her be homeschooled, or you going to have her go to actual school?
Homeschool.
Good question.
Homeschooled, and then also again for me, dance class was very, very important because in a small way that opened up my very small world. I was able to interact with other kids of other ethnicities because again, I was almost always the only Black kid in each of the classes. Every once in a while there'd be like a mixed ethnicity girl that looked similar to me, but there were no other full Black girls in the classes. I had one family member that actually went to the dance class with me for a while, but other than her, I was the only Black kid in like 90% of the dance classes I did growing up.
Okay.
So dance
That's what's
classes,
up.
gymnastics, cheerleading, something where she is going to be home, go there, and then come back home. So homeschooling primarily, yeah. And then
Okay.
virtual tutors, of course, because I don't know everything, but everything I can teach, I'll teach, but then outsource other ways.
Dope.
Yeah, that is dope. Yeah, because public school is a mess.
Oh my gosh. Oh, I bet Breann had no. I was a C average student, and I said that. But the funny thing is, I've had two teachers that realized I had ADHD, and they were able to teach me in a way I could learn, and I had straight A's in those classes. So I realized it wasn't me necessarily; it was the school system. They made it hard for me to learn because this teacher actually gave us, because again, she wasn't supposed to, I don't think, but she gave each of her students a test to see how they learned. And my test score was different than everyone else's in a way that she was like, okay, I'm going to teach you this way instead. Because I don't think she called it ADHD, but she said you learn differently than everyone else. When we have a lesson, I'm going to have to teach you this way. So yeah, I got straight A's in that class, and I wish more teachers had did that. And I was in elementary and middle school where I had two teachers that just knew something wasn't right. They say, well, you're a bright girl. Why are you not learning these concepts? And they found a way to help me learn. So yeah, when I finally got to college, that's when I was diagnosed with the count, because they had a free counselor, which you're, I guess, essentially paying for, right? That had me do a series of tests to determine that. Yes, public school. I can teach better than pretty much most of the people who taught me. And again, you get to know your child so much. You know exactly how they feel and think some days, you're going to be the best teacher for your children.
Right. I have a question. As someone with ADHD myself, how do you concentrate like in a marriage? Are you messy? Like it's so hard to concentrate. Like you know you got to do your duties. Do you miss any of your home duties, or do you forget to make an appointment? Things like
Absolutely. Absolutely. I forget so many things, but I think that's the other thing about having a strong, masculine, competent man. He knows me inside and out. He knows exactly how I think. He's read books and read articles and watched videos about the way I think, and he can make decisions as well to be like, okay, we're gonna, do something this way because it's going to be easier for you. Or I know we have that appointment coming up. Did you put it in your phone? Before you do anything else, before you go use the bathroom, before you go do this, put it in your phone because I know you will forget. So I think that's the other thing that helps, that having a husband that's that knowledgeable of me inside and out to the point where he will help me help us. So I think that's been very, very good as well. Again, keeping everything in the phone calendar, even if it sounds silly. This meeting was in my phone calendar. And luckily it was, because again, I got to scrolling and sometimes the time gets away from you. I had a hair appointment that went a little longer than I expected because I thought this was at 3 my time, ended up being an hour later, so it still worked out. Again, putting so many safeguards in the way to prevent issues is great. But of course, things slip through the cracks, which they have in the past, but there's always a backup plan, and he's very, very understanding.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess you have that support system.
Okay, can I chime in on something real quick?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry to interrupt y'all, but you mentioned how public schools are bad. It's best to, and this is the thing I don't like about, homeschooling kids. I look at it like this: when you spend years homeschooling people or whatever, and they spend years of their lives, going home to go to school and not interacting with people. Then when it's time for them to go out into the real world, it's like they get stuck in their comfort zone. They don't know what to do when they go into the outside world. Kind of like how you felt. You're so used to being at home that when it came to going out to college campuses, you didn't know what to do. So that could be a problem for people trying to homeschool kids. They get stuck in that comfort zone over time. So I don't think that's good for a kid's development either, but that's just my opinion.
I don't think it's good for boys. For me specifically, I went to public school the entire time. So it wasn't the fact that I was missing the interaction. I was missing the knowledge of how to interact with boys specifically. Because if you go out in the world, you're going to interact with boys and girls. I did not know how to talk to boys, interact with them. I didn't know their mindset. I just knew to avoid them. They're icky and gross. So I think the main issue is when I went from high school to college, was I had not made any decisions for myself. I mean, my clothes, I didn't even really get to choose for the most part. When we were in a restaurant, my mom would order for me because, she's a very dominant, modern woman. So the protection they thought they were doing to me only inhibited me in the point where I did not know anything about men. I knew what I saw my dad do. I knew he worked 80 plus hours some weeks, but the way he thought, his mentality, again, being very similar to KS, I didn't know that until I became an adult. So I do wish, I think it would have changed for me if I talked to my father more growing up. And then his father, again, very similar to him in a lot of ways. I wish I had more detailed conversations with them growing up. I think that would have changed it for me. Because if I did that, I don't think I would have went to college, but they were so big on college. Go to college, get your education. It's important. Black people didn't have this in the past. I wish I would have just opened my mind up to realize it wasn't going to be for me, especially having ADHD. It wasn't for me. And it's not for most women I speak to. They only go to college to make their parents proud. Now, I have a college degree on this wall over here, but I have to keep referring to it because I can't remember the name of my own degree. So again, for me, it wasn't worth it. My mom's happy, but that's the gist of why I have it, to make her happy.
Yeah. Yeah, but I kind of got to give a little pushback to that homeschooling comment that Hustler or Muscular made. Like, I understand the premise of what he said, but that's what like extracurricular activities is for, to have those kids interact with other kids. Like, you don't necessarily have to have kids be in a classroom to make friends and stuff. Like, don't get me wrong, I went to a public school, so I know what it's all about and stuff like that. But at the same time, nowadays you don't necessarily need to have a go to public school to interact with people. Like, let's say if your daughter or son like sports, you can have them go to like a basketball camp or basketball after school or to like a YMCA or stuff like that. Or like how you said, Brienne, you want your daughter to learn, the art of dance and stuff like that. She can
Mhm.
meet some girlfriends that way. She can meet a lot of people that way. So it's not necessarily like, oh, you have to go to school to interact with children. Like, there's
Yeah.
other avenues that you could go down to still have your child have a normal
Yeah.
childhood. That's
I
what I'm
also
saying.
volunteered a lot because at our local, well, back in Ohio, the art museum in the zoo, at the Toledo Zoo, they always had opportunities for kids to volunteer. They would go clean up the beach. They would, walk around and give roses and things like that on holidays or gifts, during Christmas time. She will have a million and one opportunities, especially here. This is a large major city. There's always a concert. There's always, a dance class. There's always, gymnastics and cheerleading competitions. Like there are things that she can be exposed to that are going to give her even better, opportunities to have friends and interactions than school. In school, you got to sit down and be quiet most of the time. And I hated school because I was always like, I need to get up, I need to do something. And I had that energy as a kid where sitting down was painful. Like my kids aren't going to have that experience. They're going to be able to actually interact with people in a positive way. And again, we used to get in trouble for having conversations during class. How are you interacting? And then recess is even shorter than it was back in the 90s. I think it's like 15 minutes now. Like, how are you going to interact with people and get to know them when you have to be quiet most of the day to try to learn? Again,
Exactly.
for me, when you can homeschool, you can choose when they learn. I've seen online, again, those couples I follow online on YouTube, their kids start school at like 2 p.m. The first part of the day, they're learning how to cook and clean, and they're going on field trips to the zoo and the art museum. And then by 2 p.m., okay, now we're going to learn, addition and subtraction. And I think it's a beautiful thing to have that freedom. And then you don't have to do school all day long. You could do it from 3 to 6, and then on the weekends, you have extra time and extra freedom. The weekends could be for school. The week, you could just be learning home skills. So yeah,
Hmm.
I think I'm definitely gonna take that route. Kids are gonna be able to sleep in, kind of wake up around 9, 10, get some breakfast. Let's learn how to do your hair today. Let's learn how to sew a shirt. And then 2 p.m., 3 p.m., okay, it's time for school. We're gonna go to the school area of the house. It's gonna be amazing. I'm so excited.
Right, right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
I know it will.
Okay. Okay, ladies and gentlemen in the chat and all the cloud watchers that's watching this dope live stream tonight, make sure y'all hit the like button for this dope interview that we're doing with Breann LaFaye. Like, stop being stingy with y'all likes, man. Hit the like button, yo. Like this. You're not gonna get nothing like this anywhere else, man. This is the Killing Them Sweetly vibe over here, man. Hit that like button for Sweet Melody Media and for your boy Killa Swag 216, man. I'm telling you, if y'all continue to hit like buttons, man, we gonna continue to bring interviews just like this, man. So stop being stingy with the likes and bring them over here, man. That's all I'm gonna say
Yes,
about that.
please do that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And for Bree, well, we almost at the 3 hour mark.
Hmm.
So what do you want to do, Swag? You want to end at 3?
I mean, we can, what I'm saying, because we don't want to make people complain, talk about it's a long stream and stuff. So
Right.
I've heard that. I love long streams. You can always
Me
go back and
yeah,
too.
I don't have problems with it either, but I mean, I get that people don't want to sit through a 6 hour live, but maybe for a late night stream we could do it because at that point it won't even be like no, type of topics. It could just be like
Yeah,
a
I'll
free
come back
for
for a
all and
late
stuff.
night stream. In 10 minutes, I'm gonna get some food going and then start packing up for tomorrow. So I'm quite excited to sell some
Yay! I'm
products.
excited for you. And
Hmm.
oh, can you drop
Yeah.
that one more time in the chat? Your business? Drop it
Yeah,
in
of
the
course.
chat.
It's called Shop Janethia. My
There we
mom's
go.
name is Janethia, and she definitely put a lot of emphasis on smelling good and looking good. So I think that's why I named it after her. But yeah, my business name is Janethia, my mom's name, and I'm very grateful to be carrying on her name in that way.
Yeah, definitely. So make sure you guys are supporting. There's the site right there. Go on
Right
there
there.
and support Black owned business. Show her some love.
Yeah. Show her the love, all the love that you can, because she is representing all of the wonderful ladies that embrace their femininity, embrace being a mother, a wife, veganism, all of that, man. So we gotta uplift each other. We gotta uplift people like this, man. I'm tired of seeing all the ratchetness getting pushed to the forefront. It's about time we push some wholesome, family value oriented people, man. We need that in this world right now.
Mhm. Yeah, I want to see women like Melody wifed up very quickly because all the goals you have, especially I always wanted like a small business just to have, something fun to do. You have the ability to be a wife and still accomplish your goals. I hate now how women are so big on, no, I want to do all this stuff. I want to build myself up before marriage. No, it's even easier in marriage. You have someone else supporting your goals, keeping you on track. Again, I need a little help staying on track sometimes. And just having someone who knows me this well makes things better. And I hope I make things better for him. But it's definitely important to find someone as early as possible and get coupled up. Again, it doesn't have to be a big, expensive wedding. You saw what Miss Biles just did, Simone Biles, getting married. She got it done. Went to that courthouse, took some pictures. She said her dress is $100, her shoes are $35. She went there, got married, and got it done. That's how I think it should be done. If people with that much money can do it that way, so can we. That's how I did it. We got married in the park for free because you can get married in really any national park as long as you're not blocking walkways. And my great cousin married us. That he marries everybody in the family, so he married us, and it was
Oh,
wonderful.
that's special.
Mm-hmm.
Got
Yeah.
married, but yeah, I love it. This
I
whole
call him my
story.
uncle. He's older, but he's like my great cousin. So yeah, it's hilarious.
Yeah, that's amazing. Well, I just want to say good luck to you and your family, and hopefully everything continues to go well for you guys. I'm sure it will. You've been
Mm-hmm.
together for this long. He ain't going nowhere. You ain't going nowhere.
No,
Yeah, I
no.
got the
Mm-hmm.
baby. Hopefully we get another bundle of joy. That's a boy. You know.
Oh, we love a little boy, but we'll take whatever we can get as long as they're beautiful and healthy, like the first.
That's it.
Um, and as long as you guys, I think we had a few minutes. Just as long as I'm not missing any questions. I love questions. I love making myself very clear and concise. I think marriage is important. I think starting a family the right way is important. Again, I know a lot of people who didn't do it the right way. It's never too late to do it the right way, but sometimes you can run out of time. That's why you shouldn't wait, even if you have done something out of order. And on top of that, you have to be realistic. If you have an expectation for the type of person you want, do you fit what that person wants? If not, can you fix it? If you can't fix it, are you okay with getting with someone who is very close to your expectations? Again, I talk to mostly women who are just young and single and no kids. And they still have the same expectations as the woman who does have the children out of wedlock. And I think it's important that, again, I've seen women with children get married every single day to great men, but I don't think they appreciate them the way they should. You got to appreciate your husband. You have to listen to his direction. Because again, even if he doesn't have the same life experience you do, he's more willing to take the brunt of the protection, the brunt of the criticism your family is going to face. Because it was funny, as long as I've known my husband, I thought we would get no criticism. People were like, okay, that makes sense. No, we've had people literally say, well, why did you end up with him? Why didn't you do this? Why did you get married so quickly? And it blew my mind. It's like, this is the situation where it would make sense to get married, where you knew each other as kids, your families knew each other, his grandmother was down the street from yours, your grandparents knew each other. Like, why didn't that make sense? No, because people have these very unrealistic expectations. They wanted me, a young, single, child-free woman, to go, to Europe and find a guy to marry. No, this guy was literally in my backyard and was the best I can find. And he was right there, literally in my backyard, breaking leaves, with my siblings. So yeah, absolutely crazy how we don't realize the best thing is right under our nose.
Yeah,
Hmm.
it is. You
Mhm.
got the prize. He got the prize. Y'all both got the prize. So
Yeah.
Definitely. I think the marriage is the prize. Most
that's
people don't
it.
see it that way. Again, people hear me talk in these panels. He's a very shy, reserved man. He's in some of my older YouTube videos, but for the most part, it's just me. And I think it is important to say that when you want to get married, the end goal has to be the same. And again, luckily, we moved in the same direction at the same time because, again, we both didn't want to add children. Again, when you have nieces and nephews and God this and step that, you're done. You know what I mean? Mentally, like, I got all these kids to rainbow. You want me to add more to that? But luckily, when we were able to move across the country, the people who were meant to be close to us and love on us, we were able to do that virtually. And again, my older brother came with us for a few days. He came and flew and, got to meet his niece for the first time. So we still get to have those experiences. And I hope the family members that we haven't really spoken to since we left do reach back out, because there are some people, when we left as quickly as we did, when he got that job offer, they were hurt. And I understand that. But if you truly understand, coming from a hometown, you can't grow there. So we had to take that offer. We had to take that leap of faith and go. But yeah, we hope the family members that weren't a part of our lives during this transition come back around. And if not, we still wish them the best.
Yeah, well, thank you for coming. And that sounded awesome. And hopefully there's some young girls listening to you on how to get a man in a successful relationship.
Friend zone.
Yeah.
Look in your friend zone now. He's going to be the best husband, the best father. He's going to love you more than some random guy will. Again, I don't always support church in the way that it is currently. The way it used to be is that little boy used to sit next to the one that always used to sneak you the candy, or the one that used to like give you a hug when you left. That's supposed to be your husband. That's not supposed to be just your friend. Really consider the men around you. They're wonderful.
That's great advice. Before we shut down, Swag, did you have anything else to say to Breann?
Any questions?
Any more?
You hear about my birth again?
Oh my God, no, I'm good. I heard enough. I've heard enough. But yeah, but as far as like questions, I don't have any real questions right now. Only thing I have to say, this was a dope interview. I appreciate you coming through and letting us interview you. Like, I didn't even think I was gonna have any questions for real, but the fact that I ended up having some questions is crazy. But the fact is, I appreciate this conversation because it's much needed. And I mean, who's to say? It might end up being a part two one of these days. You never know, because she was a dope interview. And we may have some more questions for her. You never know. But all in all, yeah, hey, well, we already heard it, so she down. We just got to figure it out. But yeah, at the end of the day, I love this interview. I love this conversation. I love the dialogue and all of this stuff. So salute to you. Salute to your husband. Salute to the baby. Tell her Uncle Swag said what's up. And that's all I really got to say about that, man. Salute to all of this, man.
Right. And what are your final thoughts, Bree, before going?
Well, I love being on your channel. I remember when I first discovered you, I think you actually reached out for my channel. So I'm glad we got to connect in this way. And I really hope at least one young girl, like I said, that age between 18 to 22, so pivotal. Hope at least one of the ladies in that age range listens to what I'm saying, because it's probably different than what they've heard. Go get a job. You don't need a man for this, that, and the third. And it's untrue. We need men for so many things in society. And in the household, they're absolutely pivotal. The man being in the household brings every single, statistic, out of the water. They're needed, and we need them in the household.
Absolutely. Thank you for that, Breann. And before I say my final thought, shout out to Mr. Know-It-All for the $21 super chat. Thank you so much. He says, more of this, please. Good show and good night, everybody.
Oh, it's definitely gonna be more interviews coming, so that ain't even nothing to worry about. So yeah, it's more on the way.
You wait. But thank you so much, Mr. Know-It-All. Appreciate
Salute to you,
you.
homie.
And this is my final thought. It was wonderful interviewing you, Breann. You are beautiful, you're smart, and you're a great wife from what I see, and a great mother. Continue to have that pure soul, because I love it. Like, you don't run across women like you out there. Like, I don't see any women in their 30s that actually have a soul as pure as yours. So thank you so much. Appreciate you. I actually love you. I'm like, I love Breann. Wonderful.
I'm already emotional. Thank you so much. You're so sweet.
Thank you. And I have to really start going to your channel more. But you got to send me let me know when you're going live because I don't get notifications. Even though I'm subscribed to you, I don't get
Everyone's been saying that. Yeah, I'll definitely will. I have your email too, so I'll definitely post it as quickly as I can.
Yeah, definitely. And I'll the same. Do you get my notifications?
I get your notifications.
Okay, cool. Because a lot of people aren't, but I'm glad you are. Because
Yeah,
I love to have you on a panel, come up and because you're great. So
yeah, you mostly do weekends. So yeah, weekends are the best for me because he's off. So yeah, definitely I'll come up.
okay, yeah, maybe we can have a set panel, me, you, Swag, and GC, and we can just talk about things.
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah,
This might be the birth of something.
Right, and then we all
let me know because the panel, I know I'll at least be able to stay on for like an hour and a half most weekends, but then again I will have to stop to pump, so just make sure I know in advance.
Okay, perfect. All right, well, thank you, Swag. You can end it. We'll end it with you.
Oh man. Okay, well, oh man, this was a dope interview. This was a dope discussion. This was just a dope day all around, yo. So all I got to say is salute to every single one of y'all that was in the chat watching, all the people that sent in the super chats, all the people that hit the like button. I hope everybody shares it and stuff like that. And yeah, make sure you share it. Even after it's over, share the stream. We want people to see it, man. Watch the replay and leave a comment under the stream. And yeah, man. So until the next interview, man, killing them sweetly. Huh?
Hold on, we have one more person I want to say something before we go. You know it all. Hey.
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
Hello.
No, but seriously, when are you gonna bring back the fuckery?
You want a fuckery stream?
You gotta let Mel and Glocktavis get to arguing.
I guess we can do that sometimes, once in a blue moon.
Nah, not a blue moon, like once every couple weeks.
Oh God.
You do know Melody's gonna have to private those streams, right?
Yeah, but whatever.
Okay. I mean, it's on her. Shoot, it's her call.
I mean, I'll think about it. Maybe we can have some kind of a rumble or something. I'll think about it. But I like ones like this where we're having civil conversations and getting to know each other. This is my speed right here. This is what I like. So
I definitely like this too. I like the interview style.
Yeah.
Not too many opinions at one time type of thing. And a targeted guest, somebody who's can bring, unique perspectives, and we get to hear their complete thoughts without being interrupted by a full panel,
Exactly. I love it.
Yes,
all right, have a good night.
All right, man. Salute to you, man.
Bye. All right, you were saying something, Swag, before we was going?
Yeah, I was just closing shop. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, on behalf of Breann, LaFaye, Sweet Melody Media, and myself, Killa Swag 216, we are out of here, man. Catch y'all on the next interview. Deuces.
Peace.
Goodbye.
Leak about to take off.
You know what to do. Hit the subscribe button.